Mortem would like to thank Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Original Cinematic is an independent production company that has made it their mission to create, produce, and promote films that are inclusive, honor women, promote the LGBTQIA+ community, and provide prominent positions and roles to POC actors and filmmakers, and promote the films of marginalized and underrepresented populations. These are all things that are extremely important to our podcast as well.
Original Cinematic is currently accepting scripts and treatments. Both William and Xxena Rush are also available via email or Zoom to discuss writing and provide input and resources to all aspiring writers free of charge. Their information will be made available in the show notes. There may be delays due to a hectic schedule and all projects being read on a first-come, first-served basis, but everything will be read and responded to. William Rush has individually produced numerous projects, including Pack is Here, Before, The Cottage, The Winemaker, and Day by Day. Their award-winning film Group premiered and was celebrated at multiple film festivals as well as screenings both in person and via Zoom that was graciously made available to us and our patrons.
Original Cinematic has many exciting projects on the horizon. Their next film, Immersion, has been completed. The award-winning Sweetener is in development. Fetish begins shooting in September, and Encore will begin next spring. Their documentary, Women in Conversation, is slated for a September release, and we are looking forward to each and every one of them. It is truly an honor to partner with Original Cinematic, and we can't thank them enough for their contribution to our show. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Salutations! Welcome to Pod Mortem. I'm Travis Hunter-Sayapin, joined as always by my co-hosts, my sister and my brother-in-law.
Hi, I'm Reneé Hunter-Vasquez.
Hi, I'm John Paul Vasquez.
This week, we're broadcasting live from Channel 13 News, discussing the 2009 horror film, The House of the Devil. This film was written and directed by Ty West. Drawing inspiration from the satanic panic, the aesthetics of his youth, and the relatable theme of economic desperation, West competently crafts a compelling and horrific tale boasting rather impressive period accuracy for its budget. With a competent cast, era-specific camera techniques, memorably macabre moments, and a slow burn that eventually catches chaotic fire, The House of the Devil would receive positive reviews from critics and audiences alike, and remains a standout of late 2000s horror. This film was suggested to us by friends of the show, Kent Morton, James Floyd, Cookie, Probably My Jugs, Chuck Darling, Blaine Hancock, Alan Johnston, Scott Troutman-Wise, Stephen Junius, Destiny Faulkner, Delphina Beetle 53, Katie Face, Beth Bauer, Jean Jacket, and Franklin Badge. We'd like to thank each and every one of them for their continued support of the show, as well as this suggestion. So, The House of the Devil. What were your first impressions on the film?
So this was my first time watching this movie. I think I had heard of it because I know a lot of people requested it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had never seen it. I didn't know anything about it. I'll be honest, watching it for the show, it's it's a slow burn, like you mentioned. And I think everybody kind of already knows that's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, we don't need to fizzle for a little bit and then some more, and then some more, and then some more, and then something happened. I kind of, like here, there. Oh, shit, something else happened. A head fall off. That's not what this is.
A head fall off.
Yeah, that's not what this is. I like the way this, for me, the strong part of this movie is the way it looks, the feel of it, the atmosphere. I do really, really enjoy that. I like the way it looks. Everything else, I'm going to be honest, was very much a miss for me. I wanted some more. I think hearing the title and watching it, I don't think I got enough of what I expected or what I wanted. But I mean, I can understand why people would like this. For me, it's just not something that's for me.
And that's fair. Once I finished it, I was like, I don't know how John Paul's going to feel about this.
Yeah.
But it was my first time watching it too. I liked it from the way that people were talking about it and requesting it. I kind of expected to love it. Plus, I like a lot of Ty West's other work. Love one of them. But I liked this. I will say that we were kind of talking about it before we started recording, and the more that I'm reflecting on it, the more that I think I appreciate it. So I might have more of an appreciation for it after we finish our conversation about it. But I agree with you. I think the standout here is the aesthetic and the style of it. Because if I walked into somebody's house and they were watching this, I would not think that this was a movie from 2009.
Yeah.
No way in hell. You know what I mean? It's so proficient in that regard that is enough to commend it for.
Right.
I mean, we talked similarly on The Love Witch, which, also was a style for me, was a little bit better than the story itself. That being said, and this is a slow burn, I do like a slow burn. I love a good slow burn. And it was getting to the point where I'm like, this is one of those where it's going to like hit me in the gut in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't wrong. I loved the ending. I think that a lot of, and for somebody who loves a slow burn, part of it, I was like, okay, are we like, let's get there.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe if we had a little bit of a more compelling main character, maybe I wouldn't feel it so much. But yeah, there were a couple moments where I was like, come on, Fireworks Factory, like let's please get there. But there are moments that caught me completely off guard, very, very shocking moments. Everything looked good. It's a beautiful film, especially somebody who, I'm sure a lot of us grew up watching films from that period. It feels incredibly accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. I expected, honestly, kind of to love it, but I did like it. And I think that it's an accomplishment, even if you're only in it for the vibes of it. If that makes sense.
Oh, no, yeah.
No, this film is absolutely a vibe.
Yes.
And it almost puts me in the mind of like, have you heard of like the kind of loose, unofficial genre of like hangout films?
Right.
Okay.
This feels like that for a portion of it for me.
Yes.
Where you're really just hanging out with a character and this world.
Yeah.
And kind of getting involved with it and seeing how much attention to detail was put in with this aesthetic and the tone.
Right.
And for me, that's like incredible. And I agree that it's definitely the biggest strength of the film is how much this film feels like the 80s.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah. And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, we're just going to take 50 things from pop culture and just throw it in there.
No.
This is real, legitimate dedication to capturing a certain and specific era.
Yeah.
And I think that's a major difference because you see so many things. I feel like it was, kind of cool to have period-based, like 80s and 90s period-based shows and films for a little bit there. And it was like, oh, yeah, no, I remember that poster. I remember that song. Like, this is you're like steeped in it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we're doing it for the novelty. It's like, oh, no,
Yeah.
this is from fucking 86 or whatever.
Well, it's like you said, though. Everything, the attention to detail, the cars, the houses, the restaurants, anything like you even passing by seeing looks older. It does have that feeling.
And it is. In a lot of the interviews I read, it wasn't about Ty West making an homage to these films. It is, this film is a period piece.
yes.
Yeah.
It is set during this time, and so it has to feel and look like it was in that time.
And
Yeah.
it does. Like, I was really impressed with that aspect
Oh,
of
yeah.
it.
But very interestingly, the first time that I watched this movie, I think I was like maybe 19 or 20 years old. I did not really care for it.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things that I was just like, yeah, I watched it. It's whatever. And then some years later, I think it was before we even started the show, I was like, well, maybe I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
And it then fell into the, well, it's okay kind of a category.
Right.
This time, watching it for the show, I think I love this movie.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
See, maybe it is one that grows on you a little bit.
And that's the thing is that when I returned to it, it felt really comfortable and it just continued to get better and better for me. And I know that might sound weird because I do have a much publicized one-sided feud with Ty West.
You do.
And I think it's gonna kind of go by the wayside of like my feud with Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
And you notice I said Steven instead of Steve.
All right.
Because we're on
okay.
good terms
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I think me and Ty West, maybe it's time to bury the hatchet.
Just Ty,
Just sure.
right?
That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I think that this for me might be my favorite Ty West film.
Okay.
And I felt that way before because I didn't really care for a lot of the other work.
Mm-hmm.
But now this is kind of leading me in the direction to be like, maybe I should check those out again.
Revisit. Yeah.
You know, because watching this, it's like, this is a very confidently made film.
Right.
And it is very well put together. I'm surprised by the level of attention to detail like we talked about, but also this slow burn works for me. And I'm kind of in the same camp as Reneé, where it's like the slow burn is not a disqualifying thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are certain scenes that seem superfluous or like, do we really need all this? But there are small little seeds of things in those scenes that you're like, okay, I get it. I get why this is here.
Okay.
And maybe I can explain it to you a little bit
Yeah,
later.
maybe.
No, I'm excited.
And some of them is just theories from me. Other things are some things that Ty West has said.
Okay.
But I know that the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, again, we can maybe cut like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like maybe we have enough for a short film here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know? And it took this third time watching it to be like, you know, I think that every moment counts and is necessary.
Okay.
See, I love shit like that. Like a rewarding rewatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, performances are fantastic. I am surprised every single time by the people that we see in this film.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people, what they have done in the past and what they went on to do.
Yes.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
But I also think that the music is brilliant in this film.
It is.
Okay.
Not just the score, but the soundtrack and the choices.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like those shows you were talking about where it's like, hey, how about the 50th needle drop?
Yes.
It's not like that at all.
Right.
It feels very organic to the world that we've built here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think enough can be said about the production design and the camera work.
Right.
Because it feels, I'm a sucker for these slow zooms.
Right.
And if that's the thing that you like, then buddy, I got the film.
Yeah. If
for
you like that, that's
yeah.
what.
It's great.
Yeah, some things.
Sometimes
So, you know.
he doesn't.
We've agreed a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Yes. Then we'll move on. But the finale of this film,
Yes.
it's a wild turn that you know it's some version of this is going to happen.
Right.
But it's still kind of shocking to see where exactly they go with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm just very impressed by this film. I think that there's something special about it, and I might be a Ty West defender now.
All right.
Okay.
But before we get into this film and the plot summary, I would like to talk a little bit about the production of it. I got a lot of information from these various sources that I'll be citing now and throughout the episode, but they were interviews in Dread Central, Slant, Hammer to Nail, Cinema Blend, IndieWire, Tribeca Film, MovieWeb, The Independent, and Killer Reviews.
Okay.
So the story of this film's production actually begins around 2006. Ty West is fresh off of his directorial debut, The Roost, which came out in 2005. He is presented at this time with the offer to be paid to write a screenplay with the knowledge that this film will be made with West attached as the director. So obviously, he's beyond excited.
Yeah.
And with this very open-ended opportunity, he decides that he wants to tackle a topic that he grew up with and spent his life fascinated by, the Satanic Panic.
All right.
There were interviews that I read where he told stories about when he was a kid in the 80s and how it was just something that everyone was aware of and wary of. And even his own mother would warn him not to stay out too late as a kid because she had a fear that he would literally be kidnapped and sacrificed.
Jesus Christ.
But it was a very real fear, though in reality, completely fabricated and unfounded. But growing up, he realized that every town kind of had their own urban legends related to this mass hysteria. And so he felt that he had a ton of things to draw upon regarding this very national fear from this era.
Yeah.
So West writes The House of the Devil, and he presents it to these potential producers who seemed super excited about it at first. But almost immediately afterward, following further discussions, they started to get cold feet. And there were several reasons why. First, West wanted to set the film in the 1980s, as he said that it's the only era that really makes sense for him to set the story.
Yeah.
He also wanted it to be a period piece, like I said, and not an homage, which would require more of a budget if there was to be any semblance of period accuracy.
Yeah.
He also wanted to use the people that he had worked with before on previous projects, which were a young group of frequent collaborators that the producers weren't sure were up to the task and feared that they would require, for the lack of a better term, adult supervision.
What?
Not because they were like starting fires or like, like partying or whatever, but because they were like, you don't know how to work on a set, you don't know how to do these things, kind of a thing.
But if they've worked with them before, obviously they know how to work with each other.
And that's exactly right.
And why did you approach me?
Because
For this.
we like your work.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Then trust my judgment.
Yeah, that's my crew.
Yeah.
So with all of West's desires, the producers felt that they didn't have the money for what he wanted to do. And so they were like, well, maybe we can find a different way to do it and still make this project happen. They couldn't. And so the production stalled and it eventually stopped.
No.
So at this point in his career, a project falling apart isn't really anything new to Ty West. And so rather than just wait for these producers and work on nothing, West decides to call up Larry Fessenden, who we've talked about a lot on the show.
Yeah.
And he had produced some of Ty West's previous work. And so West secures a budget of $15,000 to make his next film, Trigger Man. And so that's what he spends his time doing.
Okay.
About a year and a half later, the previous producers come crawling back. And he and his crew now have 2 feature films under their belt.
Yeah.
Something of a proven track record. And the producers decide, you know what, maybe actually we do have the financing
Wow.
That's crazy.
for this film. And they decide to finally move ahead with The House of the Devil.
Mm-hmm.
And having proven himself as a director, I suppose, they gave him everything that he wanted originally. The ability to work with who he wanted to work with and the ability to make the film the way he wanted to make it.
Okay.
So it's basically like a success story.
Yeah.
I read in other sources as well that Larry Fessenden and his production company helped secure other financing, and even Ty West himself helped secure financing. So it's kind of cobbling together all these sources, it gets kind of difficult sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
But after they have secured financing, it does turn out to be kind of a difficult production, as the film was shot in just 18 days,
Holy shit.
Wow.
which surprised the hell out of me. But it was shot in Connecticut on a rather tight budget for all that they hoped to accomplish. I think the budget was $900,000,
Okay.
which that's a life-changing amount of money. But when it comes to making a film that's set at a specific time and place,
Yeah.
it kind of makes it a little tricky.
Yeah, one of the smaller numbers that we've talked about,
Yes.
honestly.
But despite difficulties with their equipment, the house that they were filming in being struck by lightning, and the seemingly haunted hotel that the crew and cast stayed in that actually inspired Ty West's next film,
Okay.
Oh my God.
The House of the Devil, wrapped production, and everything went well.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
That is until it's time for its world premiere at Tribeca Film Festival, when the producers suddenly get cold feet again.
I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
And they decide, against Ty West's protests, to cut a full 4 minutes from the film after a reaction from test audiences. And I will tell you right now, because we'll talk about it a little bit later during the plot summary, it is not the 4 minutes that you're thinking. But thankfully, when Magnolia Pictures steps in, that's their distributor that they eventually went with, they reinstate those 4 minutes.
Good.
Okay.
And so the version of the film that you've seen is probably exactly what the director intended.
Good.
But the film was well received by critics, though I've often seen it kind of as a love it or hate it kind of a reaction
Right.
on a lot of horror circles.
Yeah.
West himself said that he's a personal filmmaker, which basically is to say that he doesn't really have the audience in mind when he's making his films.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that everything is subjective, which is true, But he says that if he stays true to what he wants to do, it'll eventually reach whatever audience that it's meant to.
For sure.
Yeah.
He said that you can't please everybody, which is absolutely the facts.
Yeah.
And I think that that's basically what happened. And this film kind of has grown in like a cult status over the last, 16 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I respect that. And also Ty West.
All right.
Now, before we offer this film a sketchy job, we would like to issue a warning for spoilers. Pod Mortem is a very in-depth podcast, and in thoroughly discussing horror films, we have no choice but to spoil a thing or two. If you don't wish to be spoiled, please go watch the film, then come back and enjoy the show. If you've already seen the film or don't care about spoilers, let's get ready for the eclipse. So following a series of increasingly awesome production vanity plates, the film begins with white text against a black background, which reads, "During the 1980s, over 70% of American adults believed in the existence of abusive satanic cults. Another 30% rationalized the lack of evidence due to government cover-ups. The following is based on true, unexplained events."
Ooh.
Yeah.
So immediately I am also fascinated with the Satanic Panic.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, I'm like, okay, I'm fucking locked in.
This did have me interested.
I was intrigued by it opening like that.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me is like, I don't know if you should have.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I think that it would have been more of a shock where this story goes if I'm not waiting for a cult to pop up.
That's fair. I will agree with that.
I'll give you that too. But it did hook me in.
It did.
Watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
It is interesting. And I looked this up, and that statistic, I found it in a book from 1994.
Okay.
But it's kind of wild to learn, because I read a lot of articles where they were talking about the Satanic Panic extending into the mid-90s.
Damn.
I didn't realize that.
No.
The mid-90s?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said 94?
Yeah, that's where that... And I do want to say, because it does seem a little misleading, it's not 100% that they're saying with 70 and 30. I feel like it's 70%, and then of that 70, 30% think.
No,
So
it
it's
was
not
100%.
like everybody believes.
Everyone believes to varying degrees. I will say, though, with the title, The House of the Devil, we're already primed.
Now,
It doesn't matter if you give the text or not.
I understand that, but we don't know how the devil's going to be involved.
Yeah. And it could just be like somebody that's doing really bad stuff.
Yeah.
The devil could just like be like property manager and
Yeah.
then, he's
well.
very hands off.
He's your roommate. But the text disappears, and we slowly fade in from blackness to the interior of a house. We hover in a distant doorway, gently zooming through it to peer past a cluttered kitchen to reveal a figure standing in a darkened den across the way. The opening credits appear in a pale yellow, accompanied by an ominous piano and rising strings as we creep closer and closer to the woman in the other room. She faces away from us, dressed warmly in her winter wear as she gazes out of the window and into the cold morning. This is Samantha Hughes, played by Jocelyn Donahue.
Jocelyn Donahue, we did talk about her in Insidious Chapter 2 from 2013.
Mm-hmm.
She was also in I Trapped the Devil in 2019, The Last Stop in Yuma County in 2023, and Doctor Sleep in 2019.
Yes.
That's what I recognized her from. But thinking of her in this and Insidious Chapter 2, she is excellent in these like period roles.
That's true, yeah.
For sure.
I did read that she was the only one who had to like kind of legitimately audition for the role that she got, that he thought she looked really great and she really understood the assignment of what they were doing with the film.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had her come back 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Which he was like, I know it's kind of a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. But he wanted to make sure that she was serious.
Okay.
And she doesn't, like people say like the iPhone face thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like she does not have one.
No.
No.
I think
You know?
everybody in this film passes the test.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot is asked of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there are other people who have more like moments but I think that she maybe doesn't get the credit she deserves for the performance she turned in on this film.
I
Okay.
think that's fair.
But the front door opens slowly, its low creak followed by footsteps clicking across the kitchen tiles behind Samantha. This is when the landlady, played by Dee Wallace, stands casually in the doorway, taking notice of the fact that Samantha clearly likes the place.
Dee Wallace.
I know. We talked about her in Critters.
We sure did.
From 86. She was also in The Howling in 81, Cujo in 83, and E.T. in 82, and a bunch of other shit.
Oh,
A
yeah.
bunch.
Yeah.
It's Dee Wallace.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so surprised to see her.
I expected more of her.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And especially with what unfolds, I expected her to kind of play a part in it.
Yeah.
Right.
But Samantha's attention is drawn from the window, turning to face the landlady with a smile, admitting that she does love the place. It's perfect. The landlady is pleased to hear this, noting that the house really is a neat place. And as Samantha glances around the room in seeming wonder, the landlady shares that she actually showed the place to another girl this morning, but reveals with brutal honesty that she didn't really like her very much. She chuckles that she looked like trouble, claiming to be way too old to be dealing with nonsense like that. But relying solely on her gut, she says that she has a good feeling about Samantha, adding that she reminds her of her daughter.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samantha responds flattered and grateful, explaining that this place is exactly what she's been looking for. And with that, the landlady welcomes Samantha to her new home before taking her exit from the doorway. But Samantha lingers behind, consulting the ad for the apartment that she circled in the newspaper, and above a description of the amenities is printed boldly, 1-bedroom apartment, $300. Worry washes over her as she follows the landlady outside.
What a time to be
I
alive.
know.
I'm aware of inflation and everything, but
Oh,
but
dear.
holy shit.
just to see that.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And watching this for the first time, I'm like, oh, we found the house of the devil.
That's what I thought.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what I thought for sure.
Immediately.
It's a pretty cool little
Yes.
misdirection.
Yeah.
I think we probably all were thinking it might end up being like a Rosemary's Baby situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, more like the living arrangement, because I know we'll talk, of
Yeah.
course.
There are things, yes.
But as they step out onto the porch of the 2-story home, the landlady states that she'll get things moving on Samantha's application, and they'll have her set up here in no time. She crosses the driveway over to her olive green Mercedes-Benz, church bells ringing vibrantly overhead as Samantha takes hurried steps to approach her. She nervously mutters about the deposit. But before she can explain or make any excuses, the landlady offers a deal, certain that it will help Samantha. She'll agree to waive all of the deposit stuff if Samantha gives her the first month's rent, and then they'll call it a day.
Damn, just like that?
I know. What a nice lady.
Yeah.
And this is where I was like, too nice.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit.
Samantha's eyes widen with disbelief, gushing that would be incredible. The landlady just smiles sweetly, reminiscing about when her daughter was looking for her first apartment and acknowledging that it's hard to come up with all that money. But she just asks Samantha to promise her that she's going to take good care of the apartment, and Samantha does so without hesitation. But even without the promise, the landlady is sure that Samantha will be a good tenant, reminding the younger woman that she always trusts her gut. This, to me, this repetition of always trusting your gut, it feels like very interesting foreshadowing.
Right.
Because what I thought was, of course, I was like, this landlady might be the devil.
Right.
Or at least know him.
Right.
And it turned not the case at all.
No.
And so I think that she's kind of set up to be one of these harbingers almost, where it's like, you know, trust your instincts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But Samantha bolsters the landlady's confidence with the assurance that she won't regret it. But before she can climb into the driver's seat of her car, she remembers that there are a few things that she still needs to take care of for another girl that lives in the house, summing it all up that if Samantha can just get her the check by Monday, she'll have her in the apartment by the end of the week, if that'll work for her. Samantha is as affable as can be, thanking the landlady and bidding her goodbye before taking a jovial stroll down the sidewalk. The shot zooms out to meet Samantha as she steps into the street, the straw-colored structure of her new home behind her, and the bell tower of the neighboring church at her shoulder as the shot freezes, and bold yellow text appears brightly at the left of the frame. The House of the Devil.
Love.
It was a choice.
I thought it was awesome.
A great choice.
For some.
For some, yes.
But under the barren branches of a tree, Samantha stands, snagging her headphones around her neck to place over her ears, and we hear strummed guitar chords overtaking the soundtrack, soon joined by pounding drums and scintillating synth to accompany her on her walk.
I liked the music here a lot.
Yes.
This, yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of Moving in Stereo by the Cars,
Okay.
which I love.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. The score of the film was composed by a guy called Jeff Grace, and I think he worked with Ty West again on The Innkeepers, but I think that everything that he does in this film is fantastic.
Yes.
And it really fits the era they're trying to capture, not only like this opening title song sounding like music of the era,
Right.
but the piano at the opening, it lends this atmosphere of like a Rosemary's Baby
Yeah.
or certain films of that ilk.
Yeah.
But the opening credits continue, the shot freezing at their arrival and returning to full motion the moment they disappear. Samantha finds her way back to the college campus, passing through a tunnel of brick, slices of sunlight cast through small openings on her path. She glances over her shoulder, the camera pressing in sharply to meet her, lingering like a specter as she continues onward. She crosses through a courtyard littered with fallen leaves, the shot freezing one final time before dipping to black. So, in an interview with MovieWeb, Ty West talked about this title sequence, and he said that he wanted to accomplish two things with it. The first was to endear us to Samantha as a person,
Right.
and to settle us in with the era and the vibe of what this picture was going to be.
Okay.
And I think that he accomplished both.
Yeah.
Because honestly, seeing how happy she was to get the apartment, it's like I'm rooting for her.
For
And
sure.
Yeah.
This freeze frame and everything going on through the title sequence, it's like this does feel of the era.
Yes.
And he was asked, like, there were so many interviews where he's like, well, what film did you get that from? And he's like, it's not a pastiche. You know, I'm not just taking things. It's evoking the era, not copying films of the era.
What a
Right.
weird question to
Yeah.
ask.
I know, but I think that that's kind of the understanding for a lot of films that are made like this, where they're like, okay, so you're just going to take all of your favorite things and almost put them into a blender, like do a Tarantino.
Yeah.
But this, it's not at all. And so I think it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when we return from black, we follow Samantha up the stairs to the dormitories, hovering through the halls to find her reaching the door to her room. But before she can reach for the knob, she finds a red and white striped sock resting on it, and she leaves her hand in her coat pocket, resting against the cassette player inside. A pair of muffled moans escape through the barrier of the door over the sound of rock music, inspiring a sigh from Samantha, who leans closer, pleading with her roommate to come on, reminding her that it's morning.
She's trying to.
All
but
right.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
well.
I feel like at least you're moving soon, because this
Yes.
is fucking annoying.
I mean, who cares what time it is? But I mean, if you have a roommate,
It's
please
that.
be respectable.
Yeah.
I will say we don't learn a lot about her roommate, really. No. Except
No.
she really likes to sleep, and she likes also to sleep with people.
But my note is we know she likes to sleep and she likes to get it in. There is no
Right.
further characterization.
No.
But there is her being very considerate to put that sock on the doorknob.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a gesture of goodwill.
It is.
You're not getting in your own home. That's what the
Also
sock
true.
means.
Well, don't you have to study or something?
It's like I need my books. Dude.
Yeah.
But after a few inconsequential poundings on the door, Samantha storms off down the hall, leaving her roommate to her business.
There's enough pounding going on.
There are
yeah.
consequential poundings. I didn't want to
Cheers.
mention it.
Yeah.
You can leave.
But Samantha exits the dormitories, forcing the front door open to clatter against the columns that line the porch and marching away annoyedly. We follow her closely as she passes a bulletin board, completely covered with ads and posters rustling in the late autumn air. Among various pieces of paper, one lamenting a lost cat and quite a few of them broadcasting an upcoming eclipse. We center on one sheet stapled to the center of the board, with tearaway phone numbers at the bottom, and written above them in black marker is simply, "Babysitter needed." The S in sitter replaced with the $sign. Should have been the telltale sign, because you're scamming.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this immediately catches Samantha's eye, and she returns to the board, giving it a proper perusal before snatching a phone number from one of the separated strips. Wasting no time at all, Samantha approaches a nearby payphone, slipping a few coins into the slot and dialing the number listed on the small bit of paper.
The payphone, man. That I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I used a payphone or two in my time.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that. I think, again, these little details like that. It was, and I know it's just a payphone, but when you did grow up using them, again, you're transported to that time.
And again, it just feels like a product of living in this era.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of emphasis put on it. It's just a matter of, hey, I need to make a call. This is what I'm doing.
Yep.
She's not like, I hope in the future they'll have.
Yeah.
What if I could have a phone in my pocket?
That would be so cool. But after a momentary dial tone, a low voice prompts her to leave a message. Following the beep, Samantha introduces herself, expressing interest for the babysitter position that she found on the flyer outside of her dorm. Uncertain if she's reached the correct number, she leaves her number in the hopes of receiving a call back for the job. She ends the message with a polite thank you before hanging up. But as she steps away from the payphone and begins the short walk back to her dormitory, the phone suddenly starts to ring, causing Samantha to stop dead in her tracks. She doubles back, somewhat perplexed as she reaches for the receiver, and holding it to her ear, she offers a stilted, "Hello?" The voice on the other end responds calmly, "Samantha? You just left me a message about the babysitting position?" Relief finds Samantha immediately as she admits that she did, but she wonders how the caller got the number for the payphone. Breezing right past that, the man asks Samantha to excuse his urgency, but says that if she's still interested, he'd like to meet her. She agrees to this, and when the man explains that he isn't too familiar with the layout over there, he asks for her to instead meet him over at the Student Affairs office where he dropped off the flyers. Samantha agrees to this too, and the man concludes the call, telling Samantha that he'll see her there. Confused, Samantha attempts to clarify, asking, "Right now?" But her only response is the incessant phone off the hook tone on the other end, prompting her to hang up the phone. She stands there for a moment, simmering in the strangeness of the call, before heading back to the dormitories, glancing over her shoulder back at the payphone as she makes her way down the path.
Now we have a mystery.
We do.
Yes.
And also about 5 red flags, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Immediately, it's like, okay, this is a bad idea. Because it's like, we didn't even settle on a time. I don't know how far you live. I'm just supposed to wait at this center until the end of time for you to maybe show up.
That sounds, yes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he'll text her and be like,
Yeah, that.
But this is the thing that Ty West was talking about in some of these interviews.
Mm-hmm.
He said a lot of this is pulled straight from his life as a broke college student.
Okay.
And he's like, you have this opportunity. It's kind of difficult to say no, even if it does feel kind of weird.
It's that. And I feel like there are some decisions and things that she brushes off that I can't abide.
Okay.
But that being the motivating factor of her being like, look, this is what I got to do. Extremely relatable.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Extremely relatable.
But Samantha reaches her room again, greeted this time by the silver of the doorknob, naked of its previous covering, but she still hesitates before twisting it open and letting herself inside. We crawl across the cluttered floor, Samantha stepping over miscellaneous trash and piled up clothing to reach her pristine portion of the shared room. Heather, her roommate, played by Heather Robb, lies fast asleep on top of a random guy played by Daryl Now, who rests on his stomach.
Real quick, Heather Robb, she was in the 2015 Until Dawn game. Did voice work
Interesting.
for it.
What?
She sure did.
Hell yeah.
There's more space dust on here
Oh.
Yeah.
about Until Dawn.
That's right.
I was just like, damn, bitch, y'all live like this? Like, it is crazy in here.
It's like, I'll
It's
do with my
college,
half
I
of the room. You have your half of the room. But Samantha sets down her backpack at the side of her bed, retrieving some items from her nightstand to stash inside of it. But the sound of the bag's unraveling zipper grinds just above the soft rock playing lowly on Heather's radio, which awakens the random guy. He offers, "Psst." And when he gets Samantha's attention, he gives a confident "what's up" tilt of his head. This inspires Samantha's pure ire.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, my roommate's asleep on top of you, dude.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Don't even look at me. Stay on the dirty side of the room.
She sighs in frustration, retrieving her things and exiting her dorm. She makes her way over to an academic building, approaching the closed door of a classroom, where a teacher, played by Ty West, is cheered when he announces that he'll see the class next year, wishing them a great holiday.
That's great.
That's funny.
Samantha snags an assignment from her bag, leaving the papers inside of the teacher's box in the hall. She then heads outside and over to the student affairs office, the camera pressing in on the ornate face of a clock tower as the bell within it chimes, "Hark the herald angels sing." But Samantha parks herself on the steps of the building, switching on her cassette player and putting on her headphones as she waits patiently for the caller. Piano plods pensively in the score as we crossfade to some time later, finding Samantha sprawled across the stairs, reclining and using her backpack as a pillow. Students exit the building, stepping over her, which causes her to open her eyes, reaching her hand to shield them from the sun. She sits up, puzzled and disappointed that the caller never arrived. She collects her things, accidentally dropping her cassette player to the concrete, but she scoops it up, checking it for damage before departing.
It sucks. Again, this is missed money that you need right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be like, I feel like I just dodged a bullet. Like, everything about it felt weird.
Yeah, I would be more angry that I really sat here and waited this whole time and you just fucking stood me up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she could have called him back. She did have his number.
That's
She did.
true.
That's true. She's like, I guess right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, I never said that.
He didn't.
No.
But I think this is definitely one of those moments where it is like, hey, trust your gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing seemingly fell apart, maybe for a reason.
Right.
But we cut promptly to a pizza parlor, pulling back from a chalkboard which advertises the special for today only, the Eclipse Pie, with white sauce, garlic, black olives, tomato, and feta cheese.
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot.
Oh, yeah.
But Samantha sits in one of the booths with Megan, played by Greta Gerwig, who munches a slice of pizza, imploring Samantha to tell her all about what happened.
Her friend seems really cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I was very surprised.
Me too.
Yeah. Greta Gerwig, she was in Jackie in 2016. She wrote Barbie 2023, Lady Bird 2017, and Little Women in 2019.
And she directed all of those.
Yes.
Yeah. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I did read Ty West said that he met her through Joe Swanberg
That makes sense.
and that they were friendly, and he did make her come in and read so that nobody could say that he just gave her the part.
Okay.
But that he knew that she was he said that it felt like she was about to leave them all in the dust. That she was very much on the rise.
Okay.
And it's like, dude, she's my favorite character.
Me too.
Okay.
He's not on board.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's fine.
I like her here. This little interaction, I was like, okay.
She's the only one with some damn sense. She is.
Yes.
I'll give you. She seems very aloof, very a little bit spacey, but she's the only one with the fucking drop of sense
Right.
to me.
And just her, she's a character.
She is, yes.
I think that's what, because we follow Samantha. Obviously, she's the lead.
Yeah.
I would just have liked a little more of that not the same character, but the amount of character that is given to Megan in such a short time.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that in Samantha as well, because if I'm already rooting for you, because look, I'm a broke bitch too. You know what I mean? I get the struggle. I relate to her in that aspect. Happy for her that she got the apartment. She got a break from this landlady, whatever. I don't see really anything that differentiates her from any, put your face here on a main protagonist. Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
Yeah.
I just would have liked, because Megan feels like a real person. I would have just liked a little bit more of that with Samantha, because so much of this hinges on us following her around.
Yeah.
I do feel like that happens a lot of films,
Yeah.
like in that era, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I said it kind of throwaway, but I feel like it is designed so that I'm Samantha. I'm imagining me going through this and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I would, and I get why, but also I would just like to follow a really compelling, maybe quirky, even weird, mean, shitty, awesome, any kind of character with a full fleshed personality. It doesn't need to be me. I spend enough time with me.
Yeah, and honestly, I say of that era, but that is today too.
It's period.
Yeah.
Because it's about marketability.
It's definitely a device, and I'm not necessarily, and it could be fitting with the vibe or whatever, and I'm not knocking this film too much for it, but I think that those slow and quiet moments would have been more successful for me if we had a little more personality. For example, the way that they were able to make Megan, a fully fleshed out character, and we don't even get that much of her.
I think that's what it is for me. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a thing for me throughout the film that did kind of hurt it for me, is that Samantha is just everyone. And it's just supposed to be like, you can see that's you. And again, I do like Megan in this instance later, whatever. We'll talk about it when we get there. But it is that. At least Megan, I'm like, oh, okay, I know who you are, or your personality's coming through.
It's that.
With Samantha, it is just, well, I have to do this. I need to go whatever.
Well, but then again, that reminds me a lot of, like, look at the dynamic of Laurie Strode and Annie and Linda.
Right, but then I want to hang out with their friends. I don't want to hang out with Laurie.
Yeah, but Laurie's nice.
She's nice, yeah.
Lori is awesome. Lori's cool, but her friends do have more.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
her
thing.
friends were driving around smoking weed.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
were. Well, Lori
did too.
She's a passenger,
She
right?
liked to get wet. It's fine.
Oh, then yeah, all right, yeah.
One thing, though, that I think we can all agree on is that pizza looked fucking good.
Yeah,
Yes.
it did.
And that never happens in films.
No.
I don't know what it is, but anytime they eat pizza in a movie, it looks like a fucking like scab or something. Like, it always looks horrible.
Yeah.
But this, I was like, I could really go for some pizza right now.
Oh, yeah, it did. I will give it that. It did make me want pizza.
It did look good.
But Samantha is excited to give the details about her new apartment, describing it as not too big, but explaining the layout and answering that it's hard wood when Megan asks. Megan rejoices at this fact, taking a gulp from her cup of Coke as she notes that carpets are filth, especially for a germaphobe like Samantha. Samantha counters that she isn't a germaphobe, she just doesn't like gross things. Megan rolls her eyes good-naturedly as she takes another sip of her soda. But back to the apartment, Samantha admits that the kitchen is kind of blah. And as Megan tears a piece of crust from her plate, she laments the fact that Samantha doesn't have any pictures to share. Samantha agrees, and her modest descriptions aside, she's certain that Megan will see the place soon enough for herself. But Megan, taking another bite of her pizza, grimaces, remarking that the pizza is nasty today, before sucking the grease from her fingers.
That made me laugh, because she was going ham on that pizza for a while.
Yeah, she was.
And she's like, this is fucking gross.
Yeah, you ate all of it.
Yeah, so what are we? And I will say, as far as continuity is concerned, because I must have been really hungry.
Just staring at the pizza.
Yeah, it stayed true.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's probably why the pizza looked good, because I feel like in a lot of movies that pizza's probably been sitting there for 6 hours.
And that's why, that makes sense. I will say, though, as far as small moments of foreshadowing, this is one of them.
The pizza.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
And it may be being something wrong with it.
Yeah.
But suddenly, Samantha pushes her food out of the way, collapsing to the tabletop as she whines. Megan, how am I going to afford all this stuff? Again, very relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan sits surprised for a moment before assuring her friend that she's going to be fine, certain that it's all going to work out. Samantha, her voice muffled, retorts that it's easy for Megan to say. She's not the one with $84 in her bank account and a check to write on Monday. Megan understands, but suggests that Samantha relax. It's only Wednesday. And besides, if it turns out to be a big problem, Megan offers to call her dad for help. Samantha rises from the table, collecting herself as she tells Megan that she doesn't have to do that. But Megan notes that it wouldn't bother her dad at all to give some assistance, adding that she's not saying it'll ever get to this point, but she promises Samantha that no matter what, she'll never be without a home.
That makes the events of the night even more fucking infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe instead of like establishing that Samantha's a germaphobe, which never comes up at all.
No.
I think we maybe could establish that she's very independent.
Okay.
And that she doesn't...
Or like prideful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because then that would make some moments like we're talking about a little more forgivable.
Yes,
Because I'd
they
be like,
would.
bitch, get your fucking dad on the phone because
Yeah.
we're not doing this shit.
Especially after what's about to happen. She's
Yes.
like, can you call your dad from the car?
You got a Zach Morris phone in here? No, dude.
Samantha's misery seems to dissipate as a small smile returns to her face. But Megan can't help but comment how weird and annoying it is that guy stood her up today. Samantha agrees, a bit bewildered at the whole situation. But Megan soothes Samantha, sure that she'll find something, and she settles on an idea, suggesting for Samantha to go to the job board at the intern office, reminding her of that one ham-faced girl in one of her classes, remembering that she said that there was some good stuff there sometimes.
Not ham face.
Yeah, I know. And Samantha's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Samantha, however, has not checked out the intern office yet, but says that she would prefer something easy and under the table, which is what was so good about the babysitter gig. Megan tries to put an air freshener on the whole situation, supposing that the whole thing could have been awful. It could have been the kid from hell, and Samantha doesn't even like kids anyway. Very interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Samantha admits that is true. But a wild idea then finds Megan, and she smirks that what Samantha really should do is go around campus and tear down all the other posters that the guy put up so nobody else can call him. Though Megan considers it to be good payback, Samantha isn't so convinced. She just wants to forget the whole thing. No more drama.
We love a petty bestie, okay?
Yeah.
And no more drama. I thought that there was some like weird thing that had happened, or like she's moving out, because her saying no more drama, I guess him standing her up was the drama. I don't know. I just thought there would be more of a backstory.
Well, it's pretty dramatic, I guess, to wait on some stairs.
It's anticlimactic. To wait on some stairs. Yes, very dramatic.
But Megan accepts this, snagging a cigarette from her bag as the two young women head out of the restaurant.
This is maybe a little off topic, but there's a little pizza statue man on the counter when they leave.
Uh-huh.
And it looked like John C. Reilly to me. I
That's
just
fucking
wanted
hilarious.
to throw it out there.
I missed that completely.
Yeah.
He's just smiling, and I was like, that looks like John C. Reilly.
I was thinking more, what caught my eye was acid wash jeans.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
I had read a lot of interviews with Ty West where he's talking about all the attention to detail.
Yeah.
And he said there were so many like specific things that he recalled that he just wanted to make an entrance in this film at some point somehow.
Okay.
And one of them, it's something small. Him and the production designer, Jade Healy, they wanted those very specific era cups of Coke.
In the restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently Healy went on eBay, and a lot of the things that we see in this film that are so, like even Samantha's headphones.
Yeah.
They were just purchased on eBay.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then they're put in here and they fit into this world so perfectly because they are of that time.
Yeah.
But Samantha returns to her dormitory, walking dejectedly up the stairs, through the hall, and into her room. After making her way over the mountain of mess that greets her at the door, we pan across the floor as she reaches her side of the room, collapsing onto her bed, defeated. But unable to rest properly due to the incessant sound of her roommate's snoring, Samantha retreats to a nearby restroom, flipping on the row of faucets at the sink before slipping into a bathroom stall for a much-needed and hopefully cathartic cry. We get a tight shot of Samantha's face as she collects herself in the stall, but she exits back over to the sink, washing her hands and wiping at her face before offering a bit of tough love to her reflection in the mirror. Get a grip.
Well, shit's hard, man. I need to come up with this money.
Yeah.
I try to get this job. Shit didn't show up. You know what I mean?
And right now it's like, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
Unless, I guess I
Call
could just call
Megan's
Megan.
dad.
Yeah.
And you could probably help me out a lot.
Yeah.
But we've established, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
We should have.
She doesn't like germs.
No.
No.
That's the important
no.
takeaway.
Right.
Mhm. That'll be real important.
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
But Samantha then returns to her room, falling into bed and snagging a candy bar from her backpack. The clatter of her bag hitting the floor finally wakes up Heather, who lurches lazily upward, her weak voice asking what time it is. Samantha, chewing away at her chocolate, answers simply, night. Heather rises out of bed with a regretful, oh shit. And Samantha asks where Heather's friend is, the roommate not seeming to care much about that, but after wiping the sleep from her face, Heather has some interesting news to share. Someone called for Samantha. Some guy. It dawns on Samantha immediately, her eyes widening in realization as Heather adds that she left the guy's number on her desk. Samantha snaps to it frantically, Heather urging her to calm down when she doesn't immediately find the note. But as soon as she discovers it, Samantha asks when this man called. But with Heather having already stepped out of the room, Samantha returns her attention to the telephone, dialing the man's number. Her eyes flutter with annoyance when she's greeted once again by the answering machine, prompting her to leave another message. But she's swiftly interrupted by the man, who answers the phone, relieved that she called him back, as he didn't think that she would. He apologizes about this morning, explaining that things were very hectic, and he got caught up in lots of last-minute details. He calls it a bit of a catastrophe.
Hmm.
And she's like, let's not ask any questions.
Yeah, no.
Where do you need me, coach?
Samantha assures the man that that's all right and not to worry about it. But he adds that he spoke to another girl this morning who he thought would work out, but she turned out to be totally unreliable.
Am I the only one that thought it was Megan?
Really?
Well, she was pissed off on behalf of her friend. And she's like, I'm going to go take all his fucking shit down. Like, I thought she'd be like, no, yeah, I'll meet you at blah, blah, blah. And they didn't show up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We love a petty bestie.
Yeah.
I thought it was her.
What I thought was that this was the same girl that the landlady was talking about having to deal with.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm still thinking everyone's in cahoots.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But the man says that while he understands if Samantha is upset with him, he has to be honest. He's in dire need of someone to help him. Samantha asks if he means tonight, and he clarifies that he does, that it's very important. Samantha then stops for a moment to mull it over, but this is when the man decides to sweeten the deal, offering to pay her double what he would have normally, $100.
Now I know that back then $100 was like $1 million. I'm aware of this fact. It's just like, dude, every alarm bell is ringing. You told me to meet you somewhere and then found someone else, and then that didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? And all of it is, I know that I have foresight that Samantha does not have.
We've
but
seen
already,
the film.
Right,
yeah,
right.
but already having not, and I know that it is a film and it is called House of the Devil and whatever, but this is just really a bad idea. And her just strapping on the blindfold and being like, no, we can do it. While she has this out with Megan's dad, it just makes her a little bit of a frustrating character to follow, because the way that this man is speaking and the sequence of events, it is very concerning.
It is, but to me, it was, I need to come up with $300.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like, I just went and had a cry because I didn't know how I was going to fucking do it. I'm getting the opportunity to get some of it.
I absolutely understand.
But I mean, I agree with you, but
It just feels like an awful idea.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does.
Oh, no, yeah.
But I feel, and that's the thing about Samantha, is that I think there's like several times we see her when she's talking to this guy that she's about to decline.
Yeah.
And then he just says the perfect thing, the only thing that will get her back to doing what he needs her to do.
And you know, to contradict what I just said, being a person in that position where you dangle a little bit of extra money and it's like, fuck, maybe I will, you know, go against this initial gut feeling. I get that as well. I think what's really hurting it for me is Megan being like, I'll give you $300 today.
Yeah.
I think that's what's hurting it a little bit. But yeah, I get it.
Maybe she should have, like, there should be a scene where she's like, look, I talked to my dad. He does not want to help.
My dad hates you, actually.
Specifically, he said if it were any other friend.
Right.
With more character.
He said, you're boring, Samantha. That would even work better,
Yeah.
you know?
But the man promises her that the job is very simple and it wouldn't even take very much of her time. He says that she could even be home right after midnight. Samantha sits silently, the voice on the other end having to ask if she's still there, until she answers that she is. And after her eyes seem to search through her thoughts, she finally agrees to the man's terms. The man rejoices that Samantha is saving him, and he promises her to make this as painless as possible.
Okay.
I take it back, everything I've said. I'm
Yeah,
not
why'd
doing
you
this
say
anymore.
that?
I can't do this.
But the thing is again, the words that he's using, it's not nefarious unless you were given text at the beginning of the film that talked about satanic panic.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, of course you would make it as painless as possible.
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah. It's just, hey, you got a job, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I just want details on why you're so desperate.
Okay.
I want details on what the job entails. Like, she did not ask one follow-up question.
didn't.
Well, the only thing that we've got is it's a babysitting gig.
Right.
How many kids? How old are they? Why are you so desperate? Why didn't it work out with the other girl? I have a lot of questions.
These are all fair questions.
They are.
I'm just saying.
I think the thing that makes it feel like it's not that complicated is the fact that it's like, look, it's like a few hours. It's not, you know, I need you to watch my kids for a month straight.
Yeah.
Or, you know, 9 to 5. It's like 9 to midnight. And so it's like, okay, what do I have to do for 3 hours to get $100 in 1980, you know, question mark?
Ish. Yeah.
And he's calm.
Yes.
He's very calm.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Which-
scary calm.
I guess in its own way is off-putting.
Yeah.
But Samantha is glad to help, as she says that she can always use the money. The man understands, giving her the address of the house for Samantha to jot down.
He's like, you're going to love my son, Damien. Ask questions. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But under the glowing light of the moon, and accompanied by sinister synth in the score, we find Megan sitting outside of the dormitories in her car, singing along to the breakup song by Greg Keane on the radio. Samantha exits the building with her backpack slung over her shoulder, the two friends waving at each other as Samantha approaches the vehicle and climbs into the passenger seat. She buckles up, thanking Megan for the ride, her friend joking that she's just a monkey with a cigarette as she pulls away from the curb. Megan's headlights pierce a path ahead on the evening road, the voice of a DJ played by Graham Resnick crackling over the car speakers. Graham Resnick was the sound designer for the film as well.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
And he's one of the mainstays that work with Ty West a lot.
Oh, very nice. He was also a writer on Until Dawn.
He sure was.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing, because Larry Fessenden, who produced this film,
Mm-hmm.
he also co-wrote Until Dawn, and he plays the flamethrower guy in the game.
That's
so
cool.
cool.
Hell yeah.
So there's a lot of Until Dawn connections here.
Yeah.
But the DJ explains that the whole kit and caboodle kicks off tonight at about 10:30 p.m., and he acknowledges that it might be a bit late for some of his listeners, but he implores them to stay up late because it'll be worth it. Megan cycles past this broadcast and stops at a new station when she finally hears music. She vents her frustration over everyone talking about the eclipse, mocking the hype surrounding it, and scoffing that it's not like the moon's gonna explode or something. But she admits that would be pretty cool.
Well, hold on, Megan, because
It's not the sun
is where, yeah.
blocking it out.
Eclipses are cool as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
we got one coming up, actually.
We do.
Yeah.
That's right.
The timing is interesting.
Yes.
When Samantha sits silently without a response in the passenger seat, Megan switches topics, asking if she wants her to come with her for the babysitting gig, telling her friend that she doesn't have to see her boyfriend tonight or anything, noting that he hates her anyway. It's like, this is
What the hell?
very complicated. But Samantha assures her that it's okay, though Megan says that she feels a little weird just dropping her off in the middle of nowhere. She explains that she even had to look at a map to find this place. But Samantha just tells her not to worry and that she'll be fine. But this is when Megan attempts to confide something in Samantha, but only if she promises not to get mad at her. With a disbelieving chuckle, Samantha doesn't agree, considering that she doesn't even know what it is yet. But this proves to be good enough for Megan, who reaches an arm into the back seat, retrieving a stack of papers, rustling them into the front to pile onto Samantha's lap. All of the flyers for the babysitter gig that were hung up around campus.
Don't fuck with my friend. I get it.
Yeah.
Samantha scolds her, but Megan continues that the guy was such a jerk for standing her up, and Samantha was super bummed about it, and they had a really good idea, and she knew Samantha wasn't going to do it, so she had to do it, and she didn't even know the guy wasn't going to call. How could she have known that?
They had a really good idea is hilarious
Yeah.
because this was Megan's idea solely.
Yes, it was.
And even in the restaurant, Samantha's like, I don't think so.
And again, though, but by you doing it, if I'm the only one that called,
Uh-huh.
am I the only one now that's getting picked for this?
Well, I'm sure that she thought he's not going to call her again. And if he does, my friend he got stood up. She's not going to accept it. But then both of those things happen.
Yes.
It backfired.
Yeah.
You know?
But Megan apologizes again as Samantha gleans that now she knows why she got the job. No one else called.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that even when she says that, she seems kind of disappointed, but it's like, you got the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, he doubled your pay. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You know, we'll
Well,
get there.
yeah.
We'll get there. You're welcome, but also I'm so fucking sorry.
Yeah.
But Megan pleads for Samantha to let her stay with her during the job, promising that she'll be good. She won't eat any of their food, and she won't take any of Samantha's money. She'll just be there, and they'll hang out.
I loved this.
Yeah. But Samantha shrugs her off, declaring that she heard her the first 50 times, and rather than give her permission to stay, Samantha suggests that they just see how it goes. She supposes that these people could be nice. But Megan disagrees. Normal people don't pull the kind of stuff that these people pulled with Samantha today. Samantha counters, "Look who's talking," which I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
What just happened?
It's like, I'll drop you off right here.
Yes.
But Megan claims that what she did is different, and Samantha just offers that people make mistakes. It happens. And she says that these people live way out in the country, so at least it's clear that they have real jobs that pay tons of money. And this is when Megan gives us the line of the night. Do you think having lots of money makes you normal?
Oop.
Mm.
She jokes that Samantha has clearly never met her family, but Samantha just states simply that they'll see, and Megan agrees. Yes, we will. And they will.
And they will.
But we watch as Megan's car passes the stone wall of a sprawling cemetery, a small section of the grave plots lit ominously beneath the branches of a towering tree. And again, a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It's like seeing a certain pole in Hereditary.
Yes.
But we then crossfade to find Megan's faraway headlights approaching us through the dark. The vehicle slowing to park in the driveway of an expansive Victorian mansion, the camera pulling back to reveal the entirety of its ornate exterior.
What a house.
Yes.
I know.
So this is a real house
Damn.
that they found through location scouting in Connecticut.
Okay.
And the funny thing is that the way that it's shot, you would never be able to tell. But Ty West said there's neighbors all around this house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not some secluded area at all.
Could have fooled the fuck out
Yeah,
of me.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
But he said that this was one of the reasons why, because this house was brought to him twice,
Mm-hmm.
and he declined using it because he's like, it wouldn't fit and it wouldn't work. And then when they went inside the house to look around, it's all incredibly modern, of course.
Yeah.
And so he's like, it would take so much time just to redecorate and everything.
Yeah.
But after some time passed and they eventually chose the house, Jade Healy, the production designer, completely gutted the place
Oh, wow.
and designed everything and decorated everything from the ground up. And so all of the fixtures that you see in the house were not there at all.
God
Okay.
damn.
Which is incredibly impressive because once we go inside, this feels like a lived-in location.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That is just exactly. I thought that maybe you find this place and it's an elderly couple that's lived there, that has been living there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
has all their old things, and it's like, hey, how convenient.
Yeah.
No.
That's wild. It looks good.
Yeah. But in the driveway, a red car sits in front of them. Megan points it out as a Volvo, commenting that it's the safest car on the road, which is really funny because Megan also drives a Volvo.
Yeah.
She's like, see?
She's like, is this an ad?
Uh-huh. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But the pair pile out of the car, pensive piano accompanying their trek to the front door, Samantha muttering and impressed, "Holy crap," as the young women climb the steps of the wraparound porch. Samantha knocks on the door, the camera pressing in slowly on the knob as the lock unclicks from the other side, and the large wooden door creaks open. Their mouths hang agape as they gaze up at the tall man who stands in the doorway, Samantha stuttering to introduce herself and Megan as her friend. The man then returns the favor, introducing himself as Vincent Ullman, played by Tom Noonan, the man she spoke to on the phone, his left hand gripping a cane as he offers his right hand for her to shake, holding on to it and never shaking Megan's hand.
He looked very familiar.
Yes.
Tom Noonan. I know this man for a long time because I recognized him from Last Action Hero from 1993.
Oh, wow.
He was also in Heat from 95, The Astronaut's Wife in 99, RoboCop 2 from 1990, and a show that I loved, Hell on Wheels from 11 to
Oh, yeah.
2014.
Didn't we just talk about RoboCop 2? Like,
Yeah.
we sure did.
that's kind of wild.
I read that Ty West brought him back because he was in his first film,
Okay.
The Roost.
Yeah. But Mr. Ullman comments that they're both such beautiful girls, exhaling a small chuckle as Samantha lets her hand fall from his.
Cheese it!
Yeah.
This guy is terrifying. Is
Yeah.
it just me?
He's very calm, very
Yes.
pleasant,
Yeah.
but there are like these weird little things, like the fact that he held onto her hand for so long,
That,
never shook Megan's hand, which is like
That-
only one of you is important to
Yeah.
me.
the beautiful girls
Also,
comment.
yeah,
Yeah.
very creepy. But
The-
again, that's kind of old man
I
too.
get it. The weird chuckle. He's fucking 7'6". I'm terrified of him.
Yeah, he.
Oh, yeah.
and
yeah.
he's too calm.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. But I mean, yeah, and the way the shot is framed,
He looks like a giant.
oh my god.
We run, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But Mr. Ullman invites them inside, and as they pass him to enter the house, the camera rises from the collar of his suit to finally reveal his face, the man offering a small smirk as he returns inside to join the young women, closing the door behind him. Sliding open a wooden panel, Mr. Ullman leads Samantha and Megan into a parlor, imploring them to have a seat on the couch across from him. He rests his head against the silver handle of his cane, gushing that Samantha is a doll for agreeing to this. Samantha responds that it's nothing, really, but Mr. Ullman adds that he can't even begin to tell her how much of a relief it'll be to get this night behind him. Again, that's also very strange.
Yeah.
He shares that he and his family, presumably, only arrived in town recently, and they haven't had a moment to spare, what with the eclipse. Megan asks if Mr. Ullman is a teacher or something, and Ullman says that he isn't. Not exactly.
See, it was very nice to meet you. Not really, but like, it was a good night.
Well, right here, I'm like, okay.
So what are you?
What
Is that? Yeah.
He then wonders if Samantha and Megan know that they live in one of the most perfect places on Earth to get a clear view of the eclipse tonight. Megan nods that she's heard, and Ullman adds that this place is quite the astronomer's dream. Megan inquires if Ullman is an astronomer, and he provides his response. No, not exactly.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here.
Yeah,
here.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Megan?
But with that, Ullman asks Samantha to join him in the other room for a moment, promptly rising from his seat and exiting the parlor. Samantha reluctantly joins him, shrugging to Megan as she follows Ullman's path into the kitchen. His eyes lowered to the floor, Ullman explains that he hopes Samantha doesn't have a problem with this, but she has to understand that he's only paying one person for their time tonight. Samantha assures him that she gets it and tells him that Megan isn't staying, she was just her ride. Seemingly relieved, Ullman turns to face her, commenting, "Oh, good."
She's also my ride home, so she will be staying, actually.
Yeah.
I've changed my
For
mind.
the entirety of the time that I'm here, I will have a witness.
Yeah.
And an extra pair of fists or whatever. I don't know. I'm
To
scared.
beat the hell out of this
Yes.
giant monster. But he asks her to forgive him if he sounded rude before, but he says that it's just his wife is very on edge about this whole situation. Samantha promises that he wasn't being rude at all and reiterates her understanding, but Ullman counters, "Unfortunately, no. I'm afraid you don't understand."
You're right.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Mm-hmm.
When Samantha responds confused, Ullman asks her to have a seat. The camera crawls over the furniture in the other room to find an impatient Megan still seated alone in the parlor, fidgeting nervously before reaching into a small bowl that rests in front of her on the coffee table. Snagging a piece of hard candy, she pops it into her mouth. Promptly dismayed by its flavor, she disposes of it by twisting it inside of a tissue and placing it into her purse. But undeterred, she returns to the candy dish, retrieving a candy that she didn't try yet, and she cracks into it, pleased with the taste of this one, and after finishing it, she snags a few more to stash inside of her purse for later.
Saving some for later was hilarious
That's
to me.
funny. That's funny.
That's actually very good.
Yeah.
But sitting together at the dining room table, Ullman asks Samantha for her forgiveness, admitting that he hasn't been completely honest with her. He confesses that he and his wife actually don't have a child. Samantha sits perplexed as Ullman qualifies that they actually do have a child, but he's grown. But the job for tonight isn't for a child at all. It's for his wife's mother. He implores Samantha to hear him out, but Samantha interrupts that she doesn't have any experience with anything like that at all. She rises from her seat, suggesting that maybe Ullman should find... But Ullman scoots his seat back sharply, startling Samantha as he reaches his feet across from her. Noticing her reaction, Ullman lowers himself back to his chair in apology, clarifying what exactly he's asking of her tonight. He assures her that it isn't anything like she's imagining. There's nothing medical that she would have to do whatsoever. In fact, she wouldn't have to do much of anything at all. He lets out a nervous sigh, explaining that he finds all of this to be a bit awkward, but he hopes that she understands that he only has the best intentions with this offer. He's been putting advertisements out for the past 2 weeks to get someone just for tonight. As Samantha cautiously returns to her seat, Ullman laments that no one responds to home care or elderly assistance anymore, so he thought maybe babysitter would get a better response. But even then, it didn't do much. He reminds Samantha of the other girl that he mentioned on the telephone, admitting that when he told her the truth, she backed out. He chalks it up to all the horror stories that you read in the paper and see on TV that have scared away girls of Samantha's age from these types of opportunities.
So you decided to just not tell me until I got here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's questionable.
This is fucked up. And if it's no big deal and nothing medical and I don't need any training, why do I need to be here? Like,
That's
why do you
true.
need somebody?
It's very funny because the more he explains, it's like, I don't think that I need to be here at all.
It's
Yeah.
that. He's like, you know what?
Actually,
You probably won't even know she exists.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
and
what?
she can handle herself.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Then why am I here?
And if all that's true, why is your wife stressed about tonight?
Yes.
What's stressful?
These are all very good questions to ask. Samantha just does not. And I
Nope.
think
No.
it's all, again, it's about this opportunity. And sometimes in moments like this, it's like, well, if I do ask a question, could I ruin what is potentially going to happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a hard place to be in.
Yeah.
Samantha acknowledges that there are a lot of weirdos out there, and Ullman regretfully concurs. He apologizes sincerely for being dishonest, but reiterates that what he's asking isn't that much different from what she expected with the babysitting job. Samantha takes a moment to think it over, but ultimately stands up from the table, commenting that though she appreciates the situation that Ullman finds himself in, but before she can decline the offer, Ullman asks her what it'll take for her to stay.
My friend staying with me. 1,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Are we
And-
if we're bargaining?
3 months of my rent, $900. 2.
Wow, that's a lot.
Is there
Okay, well, we can leave. Like, your wife seemed very worried about this, so I don't know. How worried is your wife?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
who has leverage here?
Who could make or break your night is the question.
But Ullman reaches into his jacket pocket to retrieve his wallet, flipping through the folded bills inside as he asks, "How about another $100? Samantha just stands silently, gazing down at the 2 $100 bills that rest on the table in front of Ullman. And without a response, Ullman decides to sweeten the deal even more. $200. That's $300 for one night. He beseeches her, pleading that she has no idea how important this is. After a moment, Samantha finally responds, $400. And Ullman sets his wallet down on the table next to the bills.
First thing that Samantha and I have agreed on all day. But it did make me laugh that he was like, I don't have the money to pay your friend, but I will quadruple your pay.
That is true. So you're a fucking liar.
Yeah.
Lies on top of lies. The lies. I'm leaving.
Mhm.
I understand. It just felt a little like, and hey, I get it, but it's like you're taking advantage of the situation.
Absolutely.
Like, I get it, and
But-
not only
But
that,
I was taken advantage of.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I understand, but I guess really everybody does have a price, huh?
Yeah, and look, I
Yeah.
mean, again, I think we should be taking advantage of the
No,
situation.
yeah.
We should for
Yeah.
sure. And let's remember the fact that she was going to do this for $50.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
doubling it was $100.
Right.
So it's just like, this guy's lied about everything, about every single thing that he's presented
Yeah,
so
I guess.
far.
And my friend had to pull out a map to get here.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And my friend is staying. That would be non-negotiable.
Yeah. And especially with Megan's insistence, she wants to stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we cut abruptly to Megan storming out of the house and down the steps of the porch, Samantha following behind her in an attempt to get her to just wait a moment. But Megan marches onward toward her white Volvo, and once she reaches it, she turns to face the chasing Samantha, demanding to know if she's out of her mind. She asks if Samantha remembers their game plan. Their game plan was if they were weird, then they leave. She tells her seemingly unbothered friend that this is beyond weird. It's mental. She reminds Samantha that they lied to her. They're liars. Samantha relents that Megan is right, but it's $400. $400 for 4 hours of work. That's the first month's rent on the new apartment and then some. And all she has to do is sit inside and watch TV. She adds that it's too good to be true. And Megan counters, did you ever think that it is too good to be true?
Ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
But Samantha just shrugs this off, repeating that she needs the money. A fearful and tearful Megan can only reiterate that this decision is so stupid and that she's so mad at Samantha. In this moment, Samantha is grateful to Megan for being a great friend to her, but she explains that this is huge, that this one night changes everything for her. You don't know how right you are.
Yeah.
She reminds Megan that it's just a few hours and that's all, and she asks her to promise to be here at 12:30 to pick her up, and then it's over. Megan reluctantly promises Samantha that she'll be here before wrenching the driver's side door open and climbing inside. She switches her headlights on, backing out of the driveway, Samantha watching her friend disappear into the night as she ascends the steps to return inside.
Let's not forget you did go tear down all those other flyers.
I did. I don't know why I'm making
No.
I sure did.
I sure did. That was me. But yeah, and I feared that might have some repercussions.
Yeah.
Like they would know somehow.
It sounds like a Telltale game
Yeah.
where it's like,
The Ullmans will remember that. But we return to Megan, who continues her drive, disappointed in her friend, cursing to herself that Samantha can be such a fucking idiot sometimes. She pulls off of the road to park inside of the cemetery as she places a cigarette between her lips. Her lighter flickers without a proper flame, prompting an annoyed Megan to mash in her car's cigarette lighter. She rolls down her window, peering out into the dark as she clenches her unlit cigarette in her teeth. But out of nowhere, a young man reaches out of the evening to lower a lighter to Megan's cigarette, scaring the absolute shit out of her.
yeah, dude, absolutely fucking not.
Like, what are you doing here?
It bummed me out a lot because she's the only one with some fucking sense that she would even pull off. And like, I didn't understand this.
I think
Yeah.
she's going through a lot tonight.
No, okay, yeah, we all are. All right.
Her boyfriend hates her, she said.
She's wrestling with
You
that.
did say that.
She
Now
ate
her
some really shitty pizza earlier.
She hasn't eaten since noon. And like
Yeah.
now her friend is pushing her out and she's scared for her. It's a lot.
I would love if she pulled off and even muttered like, no, I'm going back. Or like any reason why she would have detoured at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, this just doesn't, and I know we don't know her very well, but she saw the red flagging.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I don't think that she would pull a little bit up the road and be like, let me just take a little break. Let me just chill out for a second.
I do feel the same way. In this scene here, I am questioning why you didn't have to pull over for that.
You know, the other thing I'm thinking is what if she did intend to stay here and then she was just going to go back at 12:30?
Right. But
Okay.
again,
It's very close to the house.
Yeah.
I just mutter it or like, I'm going up the road and, you know, even her telling Samantha that.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, we'll never know.
No. But the man, played by A.J. Bowen, grins somewhat deviously as Megan collects herself. He apologizes, the camera pressing in on him as he holds the lighter in his black, fingerless gloved hands.
AJ Bowen.
Mhm.
We talked about him in your next.
Right.
2011.
Uh-huh.
He was also in The Sacrament in 2013 and in I Trapped the Devil in 2019 as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And The Sacrament's another Ty West.
Okay.
But the young man states that he just thought that she could use a light. He urges her to sue him for being helpful. A dramatic Megan breathes that she almost died. She almost had a heart attack and died. But the young man kindly offers his lighter to Megan for her to light the cigarette herself, explaining that it's safer. She thanks him, lighting up as the young man switches his stance to lean down to look at her through the opened window. He asks, "All better?" And Megan breathes deeply, the cigarette smoke rising around her as she answers with a smile. "Aces." She hands the lighter back to the young man, who looks around, shuddering that it's freezing out here. Megan looks at him like, what the fuck do I care?
Yeah, I know.
Which, honestly, you're just a complete stranger.
Yeah.
But she leans her head out of the open window, wondering where the hell he came from anyway. Did he just hide? We then press in on him, a look of bewilderment finding him as he inquires, "Are you not the babysitter?" Megan scoffs. "No, I'm not the babysitter. My friend..." But before she can even finish her sentence, the young man unholsters a handgun, raising it without hesitation and interrupting her with the pull of the trigger, blowing Megan's face off, her blood spattering against the windshield, coating the glass in crimson, and sending her corpse clattering to the passenger seat in a heap.
Jesus, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was not expecting this at all.
No.
I was
Okay.
expecting something bad to happen. Maybe she's taken, maybe she's strangled, maybe he is like, let me in the car or something. I knew it wasn't good. This was
No.
not. I gasped pretty loudly.
I didn't think he was going to shoot her, but his shifty eyes and the way he was, I was like, something's happening right now.
Oh yeah, something terrible's happening.
Yeah.
And when Megan goes down, I'm like, oh, Samantha's fucking done.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Her fucking nothing behind her eyes. Like
Yeah.
she's done.
Yeah, that's very low hopes for Samantha.
Yes.
But this is, every time anybody talks about the House of the Devil, this is always the moment they point to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's something shocking that happens that you were never going to see coming. And I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And it is really fucking sad because I really did love Megan a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought she was a really cool character. But I thought the same thing as you, Nay. I thought that, like, he was going to knock her out. Because she's such a good character. I'm like, she's going to have to play a role in the third act somehow.
Right,
No.
right.
No.
Yeah, it was just the way he was looking around and the way he said that. And I was like, this is bad.
Well, it's like, dude, how do you know?
That's the thing.
How do you know anything about a baby? Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Poor Megan, she's going through so much already that she's just like, yeah, I'll answer him honestly. Instead of taking a second.
And
Yeah.
being like, wait, how do you know? How do you know my name?
Yeah.
Like, one of those. No, yeah, this was very effective, very, very shocking.
It did look good.
Yes.
It looked great. I saw them packing a fake head with just blood and gore.
Okay.
And then kind of putting, a face over it and shooting it.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool.
It's appalling. It looks fantastic, but I was so fucking shocked.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that the film has been so understated so far that this moment is also shocking because you don't expect to see something like that in this film.
Right.
Yeah,
Period.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hard left turn.
But Megan's lifeless foot lets loose from the brake, causing the car to lurch forward slowly, which prompts the young man to pull the door open and climb inside. After safely putting the car in park, he reaches over to retrieve the cigarette still burning between Megan's fingers, taking a puff from it as he peers across the surrounding area through the grimy glass. The camera tilts, closing in on the young man as he continues to smoke, the score sizzling sinisterly around him as he gazes down at the mess of Megan's body. But back at the house, Ullman stands across from Samantha in the foyer, fishing $200 from his wallet and giving it to her, half of her payment now to ease her mind for the task ahead of her tonight, and even adds a little bit on top to pay for her dinner. He lets her know that there's a number on the refrigerator for a pizza place, noting that he knows how much college kids love pizza. Returning his wallet to his jacket pocket, he reminds Samantha that his wife's mother is asleep, and as he said before, there's really no need for concern. He explains that she's old, but quite able-bodied, actually more able-bodied than himself, he hates to say.
Then why were you so
Yeah.
desperate to get someone here? Why are you paying me $400?
Yeah.
Gift horses and mouths.
Nah, man.
You know?
It's too good to be true. If
Yeah.
it seems too good to be true, like
It-
Megan said, it probably fucking is.
Yeah.
But he clutches his cane, patting his right leg, before explaining that if his wife's mother needs anything, she'll be able to get it herself, as she's quite independent.
Okay.
No.
The gift horse is eating you at this point.
Yeah.
That's also true.
You got to start asking questions.
And see, that could have fit in perfect with instead of the germaphobe thing that she's independent.
Absolutely.
Then that would make her feel more comfortable.
Right.
Oh, so like me, or even her thinking.
And I will just point out, there's a lot about his wife's mother that he's not saying right now.
Yeah.
That is absolutely much more interesting to discuss.
Yeah.
She's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Very independent.
She can get around.
Throw your hands up at me, et cetera, et cetera. I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's very important.
But he adds even more hilariously that most likely Samantha won't even see her. He states that Samantha needs to be alert, though, just on the off chance that there's an emergency. Samantha understands, and Ullman adds that this is all for his wife's benefit, as she's kind of the paranoid type. Samantha supposes that it all sounds easy enough to handle, and Ullman is pleased to hear this. But before he goes, he reaches into his pocket, retrieving a folded piece of paper and handing it over to her, the number where he and his wife will be, just in case she needs them. Oh, and there's also a number on the fridge for pizza. But he realizes that he already said this, chuckling, certain that he said too much as it is.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's like, why? Could you give something away?
Yeah. What?
But he exits to head upstairs to gather his wife for the evening ahead of them. He suggests that Samantha just make herself comfortable, and as he climbs the stairs with the aid of his cane, he promises to be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Just a sidebar, that is 2 Pulp Fiction references in this film so far. I don't know if that means anything.
That's true.
But I found it interesting. But Samantha thanks him, returning to the couch in the parlor where she sat next to Megan only a little bit earlier. She folds up the paper that Ullman gave her and places it into her pocket, but Ullman's voice suddenly echoes from upstairs, booming down loud enough for Samantha to hear it. "I've done everything you asked. There's not going to be any more mistakes."
Dude,
I know.
you already got $220 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just skedaddle.
I'm sure that if you run fast enough, she doesn't know what happened to Megan.
No, she doesn't.
No.
I am angry.
Mm-hmm. And it gets worse.
Yeah.
Because she rises from her seat to return to the foyer, just as Ullman adds, "No, this one, she's perfect."
Samantha!
He's like, oh, wow, he really likes me.
God, he thinks I'm really capable of this job that nobody needs to be doing, I guess.
And it gets worse.
Oh, my God.
He says, "We're not missing anything. After tonight, everything will finally be complete." It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
This is too much. This is entirely I think maybe that's why I'm like, bitch, like nobody is this dumb.
Yeah,
No one.
Come on.
She's like, they must be talking about someone else.
Right, not me.
Yeah, it can't be.
About someone else. This is probably an unrelated conversation from earlier.
But Ullman pleads with whoever he's talking to stop worrying, promising that he has it all under control. But when Samantha hears a door creak nearby, she rushes to return to her seat on the couch. Just across from her in the dining room, Samantha watches as the kitchen door swings open, and into the dining room walks Mrs. Ullman, played by Mary Woronov.
Mary Woronov? She was in The Devil's Rejects in 2005.
That's right.
Terror Vision in 86 and Chopping Mall in 86.
Oh.
She's got quite a filmography.
Yeah.
Ty West had said that he had always wanted to work with her and he tried to get her on Cabin Fever 2.
Okay.
But she really wasn't interested in acting anymore and she declined. So when he was doing this, he called her agent to try to convince her to do it. And he said that her agent was so annoyed with him. He was like, you can just call her yourself.
Really?
So he calls her. She invites him over. They meet, hit it off, and she agrees to do it.
Okay.
I think she is fantastic in this film.
Right.
She is such a character.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
And this scene right here, she balances so much.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. Her and Tom Noonan are really good at not tipping the hand too much.
Yeah.
Even though we know something nefarious as hell is going on.
Yeah.
Even when he's talking to whoever he's talking to upstairs, he still sounds like assuring. I think it only gets weird when she walks in and it's like, he's not talking to his wife right now?
Yes.
But Mrs. Ullman catches her reflection in a mirror, giving herself one last look. But through the mirror, she spies Samantha sitting on the couch, turning around with a smile to greet her. She asks, "Are you here for Mother?" Samantha confirms that she is, and Mrs. Ullman strides closer to the doorway, dressed in a dark coat, standing somewhat shadowed as she grins that Samantha is a godsend. Samantha assures her that it's nothing, but Mrs. Ullman counters, "Not to us, it's not." She crosses over to introduce herself to Samantha as Vivian Ullman, shaking her hand, and Samantha responding with her own introduction, even offering the nickname of Sam after giving her full name. But as Mrs. Ullman takes a seat, Samantha stands a bit puzzled, prompting the older woman to ask, "What's the matter, Sam?" It's like, I just told you my nickname.
Yeah.
It's like, we're casual.
Yeah.
You've opened the door and I'm walking through it immediately.
Samantha explains that she thought Mr. Ullman went upstairs to look for her, so she didn't expect to see her coming in from the kitchen. Sitting down next to her, Samantha adds that she gets disoriented sometimes, and her friend Megan often says that she's out to lunch. Mrs. Ullman clarifies that she was in the basement looking for her furs, noting that she just can't get used to this cold weather, and that she loves the heat.
I bet you do.
Mhm.
Heat and flames and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell.
Right?
But she adds that they're from the desert, inquiring about where Samantha's from. She answers that she's from here, just more downstate, but it's pretty much the same. She admits that she doesn't like the cold much either, but Mrs. Ullman, not having broken her gaze, understands that now Samantha's at university. But she comments that Samantha looks awfully young to be in college.
Maybe I was wrong about you guys.
Yeah.
She's like, why couldn't Megan have seen this?
Right?
Yeah,
They're
right.
great.
Nice.
Samantha says that she gets that a lot, but she explains that she's a sophomore. Mrs. Ullman is surprised to hear this, but leans closer, whispering that she bets all the boys really like her. Samantha isn't so sure, though, but Mrs. Ullman balks, smirking at Samantha's modesty. Of course they do. A fine young beauty like you? She reminisces about when she was Samantha's age, and brushing her fingers through Samantha's hair, she supposes that Samantha's mother must worry herself silly. Even this, you're like, this is because we are aware of what has already happened to Megan.
Yeah.
It makes you more uncomfortable, but if you look at it on its surface, it's just like, oh, it's just this older woman very
Just like,
politely
oh, thank
and
you.
very
Yeah.
kindly complimenting me while I'm here.
Yeah.
While I'm here. It's just part of the thing. But the pair are interrupted when a returning Mr. Ullman makes his way down the stairs, now wearing his coat over his dark suit. Mrs. Ullman mutters to Samantha, "Here we go." Which I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And what the hell are y'all doing tonight? Because
Yeah.
even that seems, I don't know, odd.
Yeah.
But she makes her way into the foyer to meet her husband, and Mr. Ullman is pleased to see that they've met each other, his wife commenting that Samantha is delightful and that she couldn't be happier knowing that her mother would feel the same. Ullman assures his wife that things are working out perfectly after all, the smile slipping from Mrs. Ullman's face when he reminds her, "And you doubted me." She admits that he was right and she was wrong, apologizing.
So are y'all just getting off on playing in my face like this?
Yeah.
Because you could have said all this in the car.
You could have.
Yeah. I don't understand. Now I'm worried even more.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
Again, Samantha never asked, "Hey, who were you talking to?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Because I thought it was her, and now I've met her.
Right.
No.
Yeah, no. She's sitting there like Millhouse in his tent, fucking oblivious.
But with that, Ullman suggests that they get to it and to not let the night get away from them. He asks, "Isn't that right, Samantha?" She concurs with a smile, but Mrs. Ullman returns her attention to Samantha, explaining that her mother is very private and instructing her not to be put off by it. It's just her way. Ullman tells his wife not to worry, that he already warned Samantha about both of them. It's like, this is a dynamic that I'm not really...
So as soon as I see y'all's lights disappearing down the road, I'm running off with half the money, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Dude, half the money is 4 times what you expected.
Yes!
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And that's almost your rent. Plus, he gave you the 20 for the pizza.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
that is
dude.
your rent.
Yeah, dude, 420. No, it's $220.
It's
No,
$220.
but you
And I have 84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's your
yeah,
rent.
you're right.
No,
I
I'm
forgot about
good.
the
Yeah, we're
84.
fine. We're fine.
no.
Yep.
But Mrs. Ullman laughs this off as her husband opens the door for her and they step out onto the porch. But before Mr. Ullman can close the door behind him, a thought finds him and he reminds Samantha, "Oh yeah, don't forget, pizza on the refrigerator."
That's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
never eating that pizza.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, do you like own that pizza place or like?
He's like, we need this.
He's like, I'm getting the money right back.
Yeah.
You know what I feared, honestly, was that the pizza restaurant from earlier was also in cahoots.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they have the special for today,
Yeah.
that eclipse pie.
Huh.
So I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like how that implicates John C. Reilly though. So we can,
Yeah.
We'll move
we
past
can
it.
The
move
pizza,
past
John.
it. Yeah.
But Samantha closes the door, stepping over to the staircase to peer through the drapes and watch as the Ullmans get into their car, the engine cranking as the pair departs. She then returns to the parlor with measured steps, and we fade to black. But when we return, the camera pulls back from skeletal trees and the light of the moon to rest under the enormity of the Ullman residence, before returning inside to find Samantha snagging the receiver of the telephone in the kitchen. She dials a number on the rotary that she knows by heart, the dial tone sounding in her ear until she's met by Megan's voice on the other end. She asks, "Hello?" with Samantha responding, only for Megan's voice to clown the caller that she's not actually there and imploring them to leave a message.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, is she somehow okay? But no.
No.
And there was something I wanted to say. It was in one of the interviews I read, but the interviewer was asking Ty West, he's like, how did you come up with that? And he's like, well, when I was growing up, we would do this thing. It's like, you did not come up with that.
Yeah.
Like, that is
Oh,
not...
down.
The phone thing?
Yeah, it's
like,
that's not you.
hilarious.
Yeah. They did that on Terminator.
Yeah, dude.
That's so funny.
But annoyed, Samantha hangs up the phone, only to pick it up and dial Megan once more to actually follow through with leaving a message after the beep. She tells her friend that it's her and to pick up the phone, surprised that she hasn't made it home yet. She apologizes to her if she's still mad at her and assures Megan that it's not that bad here, urging her to hurry up and get home before hanging up the phone again. She walks over to her backpack on the kitchen counter to snag her travel cup and fill it with water from the dripping kitchen faucet. After taking a drink, she remembers the extra money in her back pocket that Ullman gave her for dinner and crosses over to the fridge to retrieve the phone number for the pizza place that he said she would find there. She puts in a call, and the unnamed and uncredited employee answers, "Pizza, pizza, what you eatin'?" Don't make your employees do that.
Yeah.
The employees don't like it. The customers don't like it. I don't think the phone even likes it.
Yeah. So is this Little Caesars?
I know. Well, before Little Caesar.
Yeah.
But when she requests to put in an order for delivery, the employee asks for her address. Realizing that she doesn't remember it, she drags the corded phone, pulling the line taut to stretch all the way back to her bag, where she finds it written down. 7714 East Beaumont. The employee acknowledges this address as very cool for some reason.
What the hell?
Yeah.
This is when I was like, okay, the pizza place is involved.
Yeah. But he asks what he can get for her. Extra anchovies?
What? No.
Yeah.
Samantha just scoffs a laugh, casually following the cord back to the hook as she orders a small pizza with pepperoni. The employee corrects her that they don't have small pizzas, only medium and large. That doesn't even make sense logistically because a medium cannot exist if a small doesn't.
No. It's small and large.
Yeah?
Yeah. Makes sense.
But it's also like, maybe there's only one pizza box. That, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Samantha then settles on a medium and is given the price of $8.
Damn.
And a 30-minute wait for the delivery.
That's barely even a fucking hot and ready now.
This is a commentary on rising food prices.
Yeah. That's the scariest part of
Yes. Oh, yeah.
the rent increase, the food increase. Anyway.
But with a small amount of time to kill until her pizza arrives, Samantha decides to return to the parlor, switching on a couple of lamps on either side of a couch and bringing her coat and backpack into the room with her. But instead of just being content to wait there, Samantha decides to explore the house a little bit. I understand, like, it's something to do maybe if you are alone, but you know that you're not.
It's that.
Yeah.
She is, I know you're going to get to it, running around being fucking Alicia Keys. I'm like, the way, I don't know if this is brave, bold, fucking stupid.
That.
I would not make a fucking peep and hope that this old woman slept the entire time I was here.
Yeah.
Because this dude told me you might not even see her.
Mm-hmm.
Bet that.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking ghost. I'm not even here.
Yeah.
Like I was waiting for something horrible to happen.
Yeah.
And she's just Alice in Wonderland. I'm like, dude, please rub your 2 remaining brain cells together and come up with something better than this.
It is that. She's snooping. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, sit down. Find the TV and sit
We're all
down.
nosy.
Right.
I want to know what's in every closet just as badly as you do.
For $400, I'm going to sit my ass down.
Absolutely. And dude, this house is eerie enough as it is.
It
Yeah.
is.
We
Oh,
already
yeah.
had a weird fucking evening and all these different conversations with these people
Yeah.
who are coming off as very strange.
Yep.
I'm afraid we're going to open a door and there's going to be like a dog man going to town.
No.
That's where all this
Not
is
the
leading,
dog.
honestly.
I don't need any of that.
No. Even the pizza guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
No interaction has been comfortable tonight at all.
But she opens a door adjacent to the parlor, the camera pulling back through the darkness to float above a pool table, Samantha discovering billiard balls scattered across it when she switches on the light. She then creeps away and back into the foyer, where near to the windows and to the side of the stained glass ornately decorating the landing of the stairs, Samantha finds an antique harpsichord. After pressing a few keys, she fumbles her way through heart and soul for a moment until the sound of movement upstairs distracts her.
Girl.
For all you know, that's Mother waking up like, are you playing my damn piano down there?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be doing
No.
this.
Oh.
But the score hums ominously as she makes her way up the steps, her shadow cast against the wall of the staircase as she quietly climbs them. We find her through an upstairs window as she explores an office, taking a seat behind a desk in a large leather chair and rummaging through the drawers. She discovers a circular-shaped pair of prescription eyeglasses, putting them on and peering around the room, before promptly growing bored with them and tossing them back into the drawer. Exiting out into the hall, a thoughtful piano accompanies her as she finds herself in what appears to be a bedroom. She switches on the light, discovering a fish tank on a shelf, tapping the glass and bidding the goldfish inside a hello. She glances around, tapping an unlocked suitcase that rests atop the bed at the center of the room. She then passes a telescope pointed toward a window in the corner before crossing to the other side to inspect a row of trophies that line the top of a small bookshelf. Above it rests a mural painted on the wall, and as she steps out of the room, we press in on it, seeing that it depicts 5 cowboys riding through a desert scene in the Old West, the shot growing tighter until one of the cowboys is cut out, and we center on the remaining 4 as the score hums eerily. So this, to me, I thought was kind of foreshadowing to center on 4 horsemen.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Okay.
And I was like, huh.
I was just like, hell yeah, dude, I love Red Dead.
Yeah, I know. It's a cool painting, bro.
Yeah.
There was, this is just a sidebar, but Ty West actually made a Western.
Oh, okay.
I think it's In a Valley of Violence, but it's starring my favorite actor in the world.
Ethan Hawke.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
A Thai Western, you
yeah.
say?
Indeed. I think Travolta's the bad guy, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But as we're going through this room, it seems like it's just this interesting thing of her just kind of being bored and wandering.
Yeah.
But we're starting to see that the story is not checking out at all.
No.
Yeah.
You have a son, but he's an adult and he doesn't live here. So why is there a child's bedroom here, fully stocked with things, games, trophies, a telescope pointed out of the window, almost as if he wants to see the eclipse tonight?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
And Samantha is none the wiser.
Nope.
It's honestly kind of impressive the way she has no thoughts in her head. Like, I'm a little bit jealous. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But Samantha then approaches a closed door across the hall, reaching her hand to open it, but deciding against it instead. And I assume that's where Mother is.
Yeah.
Right.
But she presses on down the hall, discovering a bathroom, before exiting the floor to find an expansive veranda, the camera pulling back to spy Samantha at the center of its 5 symmetrical windows. After her absolutely misguided explorations, Samantha returns to the couch in the den, deciding to use her time wisely, retrieving a pen and some schoolwork from her bag, only to immediately lose her focus, opting instead to snack on a candy bar that she finds at the bottom of her bag. But when a knocking sound disrupts her noshing, Samantha climbs off the couch to investigate it, only to find nothing when she stares out of the large window at the other side of the den. The television cabinet in the corner of the room then catches her eye, and she opens it up, seizing the remote and plopping back down on the couch, where we watch her from outside through the window. So, do you remember when I told you that there were 4 minutes that were cut from this film?
Yeah.
Before this film premiered at Tribeca, this is where the producers got cold feet, and they said these scenes of Samantha exploring the house need to go.
Yeah.
They said that I guess they had done some test audience screenings before this, but they asked incredibly leading questions.
Did you guys like that part?
They literally said,
Oh, God.
"Were you bored by anything in the house?" Which prompts
In the house.
yes,
Yeah.
everyone or a lot of people to say, you know what? Yeah, actually I was.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to cut this. And I understand if you're looking at it through like pacing, but Ty West is like having more moments with Samantha. Not only do you learn the geography of the house for later, but you have these small moments of foreshadowing of things not really being quite right.
Right, right.
And they were like, but the film is like this part really slows things down. And Ty West goes, the whole film is fucking slow.
It's that.
So why are we losing these 4 minutes when he's like, if you're not into it already, you're already checked out by this point.
Oh, yeah. No.
That-
yes.
So, all right.
Yes.
You're like, for sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
No, that I agree with. That's why I feel like it doesn't make, I don't want to say it doesn't make a difference if you leave it, because you should leave it. It's not like, oh, everything's at breakneck speed and then you really slow down for 4 minutes and then it picks right back up. It's like, no, we've been slowly creeping this entire time.
Yeah,
Like that's, I'm glad that they were able to put it back in.
me too.
Because even looking at it this way, you are kind of like, wait, what is this room? I was just getting increasingly more like, dude, you're fucking playing with fire.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Like, I'm just waiting for something awful to happen.
And I think that's another thing is it's fear lies in anticipation.
Yes.
And so we already know what happened to Megan.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're waiting for something terrible to happen to Samantha. And the more you explore the house, it's like, well, it could be in this room that it happens. Oh, it's not. It could be in the, oh, I guess not.
yeah.
It's the house and it's the amount of time that goes on. Because I'm like, when is the pizza coming?
Yeah.
What was the deal with that fucking phone call? What was that sound upstairs? Is she awake? Is she wandering around? Does she know that you're up here? Like, there are a lot of like, what bad thing is going to happen first? That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I get the whole thing about staying with Samantha and kind of like feeling it out and seeing the rooms. For me, I like the character didn't give me enough for me to care, and her being clueless about stuff that she's been told or that she's kind of picked up on or should have, just not picking up on it. I'll be honest, for me, it was just like, well, what are you doing, dude? Like, you should have. Well, wait, their kid is older. What the fuck is this?
No, not.
But you didn't. And then you snooping around, you going through their shit. You, like, if you're doing this, you should have the know-how to be like, oh, I think this is wrong. You told me something else. This isn't right.
Uh-huh.
But instead, she's just like, do, it's okay. No, dude, be smarter about it.
Yeah.
If not, I don't want to watch you wander around the house for nothing.
She is kind of frustrating, but I feel like it could almost be like, oh, maybe they're like the people that keep their kids' bedrooms exactly how they were
And
when
it's
they
possible.
left. But it's like I don't think that an 18-year-old
Well,
would have. I
hold
don't know.
on.
All
Hold
of it's
on,
odd.
though. Hold
Yeah.
on, because he literally said, we just moved in. And
Oh, then that makes no
Yeah.
sense.
he
Yeah.
said, we haven't had time for anything because we're preparing for the eclipse. And so
Yeah.
it's like, oh, but you fucking were like, we need the billiard room.
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
need that set up.
Right now,
And
yeah.
I'm going to actually play a game and leave the balls unkempt.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I totally forgot about that. So yeah, Samantha,
Yeah.
please.
One thing I did want to mention as well, just these kind of creeping shots around Samantha and outside the house, like we're spying on her. I really just want to call out again the camera work in this film
Yeah.
and the feel and tone that is set through the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
The cinematographer was Elliot Rocket, who worked on a lot of Ty West films, if not the majority of them.
Okay.
And they were talking about how they were trying to capture that feel through everything that they did with the camera, not doing dolly shots or anything like that, always going for these slow zooms, which dominate the film,
Right.
Yeah.
and even using 16 millimeter film to give it that grain that the films of this era would have.
Yeah.
So there's just so many choices made. And I love these like skulking shots where it's like, is that the young man who killed Megan?
Right.
Yeah.
Or is it just that this is how we're shooting this scene?
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I will say though that grain is a secret weapon.
Yeah.
It
Yes, it
really,
is.
really does a lot. It does a lot.
Yes.
But after turning on the television, the standard news jingle begins the broadcast with anchors Elaine Cross and Ted Stephen, played by Mary B. McCann and John Sparadakis, respectively, introducing themselves at the top of the hour for Channel 13 News. And this is another thing, like this attention to detail on the way that this broadcast looks and sounds,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
down to the performances and the breaths that they take between reading lines on the teleprompter, it is so good.
It was cool. I was like, that feels old.
Yeah. But Samantha puts her feet up on the coffee table, enjoying her chocolate, as Ted Stephen declares that tonight's big eclipse is now well underway, a total lunar eclipse, which means up to 2 hours of no moon visibility, and more than half the moon has already entered the Earth's shadow.
So cool.
Yeah.
Elaine Cross continues that observers from all over the Western Hemisphere are watching this spectacular event. In fact, it's visible from every continent this side of the globe except for Antarctica. Ted adds that the best time to see this fascinating event will be just about the stroke of midnight, which is when you'll be able to see the moon itself disappear into the Earth's shadow. But Elaine then concludes the broadcast, presenting a special presentation of Frightmare Theater, which will be coming up next. They engage in some playful banter, and Samantha switches off the television instead of watching the film. Another thing that we would disagree with her on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say Frightmare Theater played a prevalent role in Ty West's The Roost.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's a cool little reference.
Yeah.
But Samantha grabs her cassette player from her backpack, switching out the tape inside for another one, and turning the volume up. One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix blasts through her headphones. This song is perfect.
It's a good song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
Perfect for the moment
Oh,
and for
yes.
the film as well.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is how I'm like, you're not even going to be able to hear when the pizza shows up. You're not going to be able to hear if this old woman falls and is screaming for help upstairs. This woman
Uh-huh.
I want to shake her a little bit.
Yeah.
She's very
Just a little bit.
frustrating.
We got to pass the time somehow. She's already scared, so she doesn't want to watch. It's funny, I will say, before we see what the film even is, I already presumed it was going to be Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
But she is like, look, this is something upbeat. This is something that will maybe distract me from the fear that is probably setting in.
Right.
I get it. Look, we all put on music and dance around like we're in an 80s montage. We all do that when we're alone. But time and place, Samantha.
Yeah. Plus, again, we did hear stuff earlier.
Oh yeah,
It's
We
that.
were like,
yeah, but that's just mother moving around.
No. There's a kid's room. There's what the fuck?
Yeah.
Sure.
But we watch as Samantha returns to the rumpus room, assembling the billiard balls into their wooden triangle and lining up the cue ball for a proper shot as we follow a solo game. After sinking several balls into a corner pocket, Samantha retreats back into the kitchen, dancing her way around the island, tossing a piece of fruit and shaking her ass to the refrigerator. But after a somewhat peculiar peek into the basement, the music dipping to the sound just outside of her headphones, the song returns to full volume, and we glide with Samantha as she Breakfast Club dances through the parlor and up the stairs to the second floor.
See, you knew the vibe.
I did.
Yeah.
And honestly, it reminded me, I don't know if you've ever seen that video of Courtney Cox dancing with Bruce Springsteen.
Of course.
These are all her moves, I think.
Yeah.
But after her jovial jaunt up the steps, Samantha gets a little too into the music, bumping against a small table in the hall and knocking a vase from its perch to shatter across the rug and the hardwood floor. She sighs, cursing as she removes her headphones before racing downstairs as heavy-footed as fucking possible.
Of course.
To grab a small broom and dustpan from the kitchen. She returns to the scene of the crime to clean up the mess that she caused, but in doing so, she glances up, discovering the door to a closet just above her. She reaches for the knob, twisting it open to reveal the closet is filled with Vivian's fur coats.
Now hold the fuck on.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because you were told that she was in the basement
That's right.
getting the fur
Mhm.
because she hates the cold. She loves hell or
Yeah.
whatever she said.
It's like, I'm much more comfortable down here.
Yeah.
Yes. This would make my stomach drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe the shit that you saw and maybe in the back of your mind was a little weird, but you wouldn't let yourself fully explore it. That should all be like jamming to the front of your brain right now.
Absolutely.
But I didn't like what
No.
happens right now.
It would have been very cool if they just
Yes.
let that breathe.
Yeah.
But Samantha says, I thought she said these were in the basement.
That annoyed me.
Yeah.
Because I already wrote that down.
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
Yes.
And you're talking to yourself like this? Like
If you're going to be talking to yourself, you should have been making a lot of fucking
Yeah.
comments.
Yes.
All night.
Yes.
But an ominous piano plays as Samantha then searches through a black plastic bag that she finds beneath the hanging coats. Inside, she finds a collection of photographs, and within them are the joyful faces of a family. A husband and wife, played by Nicholas Beanstalk and Andrea Vendura, as well as their young son, played by Archie Van Buren. As she cycles through the photos, she stops when she spots something very familiar. Just behind the posing members of the family, in front of this very house, sits a red Volvo.
Look at this photograph indeed.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? It looks like somebody ran around the house and pulled down any identifying photographs,
Yeah.
shoved them in a fucking bag, and
threw
hid
it
them
in
in
the
this closet. Me fucking twerking into that vase is the best thing that ever could happen to me. I'm sprinting out of this fucking house.
Yeah. If the fur wasn't enough, this is.
Yeah. You would think.
You
Yeah,
would
yeah, you would
think.
think, you would
You
think,
would
yeah.
think.
And this also, again, would have been very cool to kind of reward people paying attention.
Yeah.
But instead, we get a black and white flashback of Megan pulling into the driveway to park behind this very car, commenting, Volvo.
Uh-huh.
Samantha also remembers watching the Ullmans from the window as they climbed into the front seat of this very car to leave the house for their eventful evening. The strings in the score sing an eerie song as Samantha carries this photo with her to the front door, braving the cold to cross the porch, where she now finds a large van parked where the Volvo once was. Samantha then rushes to return to the safety of the house, and we glide beneath this vehicle, past the tires, where we find the boots of the young man we met earlier, creeping casually through the grass, stopping only to snuff out the cigarette that he stole from Megan's dead grasp.
Damn, how long that cigarette last?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same cigarette. I've lost track of time because the pizza's not arrived yet.
But you know what? I thought
Yeah.
the same thing.
You
When
know?
I was watching it myself, I was like, damn, is that the same cigarette?
It could be. I think it's a lot cooler.
Yeah.
It is.
No, it is.
And a lot sadder.
Yeah. But that's the thing. What is this vehicle doing here?
Yeah.
This, and if people are living out in the desert, maybe it would be optimal to live in a van and travel like this.
Right.
So it's like, what the fuck is the story here?
Yeah. Something doesn't add up, and I need to go, but I'm not going to.
$400.
Yeah.
You only have two. You only have 220. You've not paid for the pizza yet.
So
Yeah.
far.
So no.
Yeah.
My point is, if they were planning something nefarious, you were never gonna make 400.
But
You need to accept the fact at some point that $400 was never gonna fucking happen. You have 220 in hand. You fucking dude. I put on some goddamn running music. Eye of the Tiger. I'm gone.
and I honestly also as well, I've never even imagined a landlady more understanding than D. Wallace.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think you'll be fine even if you're like, look, I got this month, but next month I might need several months. You know?
Landladies love that, dude. They love that shit.
But inside, Samantha immediately makes a beeline for the phone in the kitchen, dialing Megan.
Okay.
Once again, she's only met by her irritating answering machine, and she hangs up the phone, letting out a frustrated groan as she retreats over to the countertop and arms herself, sliding a kitchen knife slowly from the block that rests there. She stalks through the halls into the nearest restroom, catching her reflection in a mirror and offering herself what seems to be her mantra: get a grip. She then crafts herself a seat protector out of strips of toilet paper, closing the door behind her to urinate in peace.
Germaphobe.
Fair. There's one.
One.
Yeah.
I will say the subtitles were not accurate or kind because after she closes the door and starts the pee, it says splashing. It's
All right.
like she did not go.
I know. Chill out.
I know she got the shit scared out of her, but come on. That is not what's happening.
No.
But her solitude is swiftly interrupted by a loud banging noise emanating from somewhere inside the house. Samantha opens the door slowly as the sound of footsteps echo distantly, prompting her to seize the knife from on top of the toilet tank. She creeps out of the bathroom, inching her way to the foyer through the dark, and we peer down at her from above as she gazes upward, trembling. Hello? Mrs. Ullman? As she hides the knife behind her back. And I understand that she's scared, but that is not Mrs. Ullman.
No.
No.
But tension rises in the score, very beautifully, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
As we follow Samantha's slow steps up the creaking stairs, the shot centering on the blade of the knife as she stalks her way down the hall and to the closed door that she refused to open earlier. She leans closer to it, a parallel to the shot of her at the dormitory earlier in the day,
Okay.
That's good.
as she earnestly asks if everything is all right in there. But we pan through the darkness on the other side of the door, the score shrieking as we rise above the shadows cast across the carpeted floor to discover the family from the photographs lying slain on the ground, the parents arranged head to head at the foot of their young son, who rests with his arms stretched outward, a gaping wound at his chest, his small and bloody body an inverted cross at the center of a black pentagram scrawled beneath him on the ground.
Here we fucking go.
Yeah. Can I go hang out with them?
With this family?
Yeah.
Room for one more? But no, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
We've known since before she even got here that it was going to be something bad.
Mm-hmm.
But this reveal I thought was really fucking cool.
Oh, yeah. Just the visual of it and the way that it pulls back to reveal it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy shit. And again, you knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah, I did like that a lot.
But the noise continues in the hall, drawing Samantha further from the door and deeper into the corridor, where she creaks open a door that reveals a narrow staircase leading up to the attic. But just as she takes her first step up, the loudest doorbell in the history of doorbells buzzes.
My note was worst doorbell ever. That was horrendous.
Samantha screams, clutching her hand to her heart as she staggers, pressing her back to the wall and catching her breath. A violin saws through the score as Samantha races to the front door, tearing the cash from beneath a magnet on the refrigerator, wrenching the front door open, and tossing it outside to the man waiting on the porch. She snatches the pizza box from him, imploring him to keep the change as she slams the door, and the man clumsily catches the large bill in his black, fingerless gloved hands.
Yep.
Damn.
He stashes the money in his coat pocket, bidding Samantha a good night, and Samantha returns the greeting from the floor, clutching the pizza box to her body. But the camera lingers outside, following the young man as he creeps across the front porch and over to a window to peek inside, and we rise upward from his boots to discover that he is none other than Megan's murderer.
I guess, you still got to get a job.
Maybe it's just on the side.
Yeah.
Moonlights, huh?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. But descending the porch, the young man lights up another cigarette, a puff of white smoke rising from his lips as he glances over his shoulder and back to the house. Inside the house, Samantha marches back into the kitchen with her pizza and the knife, setting them both down on the counter. She then returns to the phone on the wall to give the Ullmans a call at the number that Vincent gave to her. But when she dials the number, she's met only with an automated voice. "We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again or call your operator."
Sam.
Yeah.
Samantha.
I mean,
I'm
Sammy.
like,
Come on, man.
girl.
I know.
it's like, well, they're new here. They probably made a mistake. It's just...
Oh my God.
Samantha breathes a disbelieving sigh, hanging up the phone and promptly dialing 911. But for some reason, she stops herself, exasperated as she hangs up the phone before the call can go through. She tells herself that it's okay. Everything's fine. She's fine. She reminds herself to just relax and get a grip. But just then, the phone rings right in front of her, Samantha reaching her eager hand for it and answering. "Megan?" But rather than her friend on the other end, Samantha learns that it's actually Gloria with emergency services, a 911 operator, played by Lena Dunham.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I did read that Lena Dunham and Ty West met very interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
They were both cast in an SNL digital short as extras.
Okay.
Because I guess the guy that was shooting it was a mutual friend of theirs.
Yeah.
And in the short, I guess they were sitting at the same table, so between takes, they would just talk, and they became best friends.
Oh.
And then so he decided to just give a small role just as a way to say, hey, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
But Samantha sighs in embarrassment, apologizing to Gloria as she thought that she hung up before the call connected. Gloria asks if Samantha has an emergency, and Samantha looks around before answering calmly that she doesn't, and that she didn't mean to call. Gloria understands, but she reminds Samantha that this line is reserved for emergencies only, and after another apology and a few pleasantries, Samantha gets off the phone.
It's like the universe is doing everything but teleporting her back to her dorm room.
Yeah.
The police called back.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought maybe I didn't have an emergency, but I actually do have a fucking emergency. And I feel like the people that live in this house may be dead in the shape of a pentagram. But
I have no proof of this.
you know when you get like the family is dead in a pentagram
It's
vibe?
It's a gut feeling.
Yeah, it's like a vibe. And I'm getting that in this fucking house. Come help me.
Yeah.
There's also the other thing is that there is a strange van parked outside now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which never really comes into play or comes up much at all.
No.
She said the furs were in the basement.
Yeah.
It's too much. They're not even flags anymore. They're fucking like blaring sirens and lights.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I get very nervous about anything around the house that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If I'm at home and I see somebody pull into the driveway to back out, I'm like, is that my daughter in there? I get like, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I become like a watchdog.
Yeah.
I'm like barking at the window. So if I look outside and there is just a brand new van parked there for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I have more questions. I have a lot of questions.
I would have, like we've been saying, I would have left.
Of course.
Yeah.
But after rinsing the knife in the sink, she opens up the pizza box, cutting the already sliced pizza and snagging a piece for herself on a paper towel. Now this pizza looks gross.
Yeah.
But returning to the couch in the den, Samantha takes a bite of it, deciding to check out Frightmare Theater after all, and switching on the television, wouldn't you know it, is... It's George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
What?
Yeah. When I seen it, I remembered what you said. I was like, public domain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But rather than watch the undead break through the barricades and attack the remaining group of screaming survivors, Samantha switches off the television. She takes another bite of her pizza, but her face sours, displeased with it, and retreating to the kitchen to chuck it in the bin. She washes her mouth out with water from the faucet, but as soon as she turns it off, she notices a strange hissing and clicking noise inside the pipes, just beneath the drain and garbage disposal. For some reason that I don't quite understand, this inspires her to go upstairs to the second floor.
Yeah.
Samantha stands in silhouette until she switches on the lights there. She lingers for a moment at the door that she assumes Vivian's mother is resting behind, but she continues onward to the bathroom, turning on every light that she finds along the way. Now that...
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She stops to listen for a moment at the faucet in the sink, but when she doesn't hear anything peculiar, she ventures onward toward the bathtub at the opposite side of the room. And this is, again, if it was just a matter of like checking the pipes or whatever, she already went to the bathroom downstairs. She was there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can check that and see. That's why it's like, I don't know why she's going upstairs except to have the moment we're about to have.
Yeah.
Right.
But she reaches her hand slowly for the curtain, pulling it open, only to recoil in disgust at what she finds there. 2 stabs of violin that have to be an homage to Psycho.
Yeah.
We discover the porcelain floor of the tub littered with collected clumps of black hair. Samantha stands trembling, barely catching her breath before her attention is called away by yet another distant knock echoing from the hall. So that's ritualistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not, you don't do that.
No.
No.
But Samantha retreats from the bathroom, finally returning to the door to the attic and climbing the slender staircase that she finds behind the door. She inches her way up the steps, only to find another closed door at the top of them and a solitary light bulb hanging in front of it. But when Samantha pulls the chain to turn it on, it buzzes brightly before dying away, along with all of the electricity in the house. We survey the exterior of the home as the light in every window suddenly dips to darkness, and through a veil of fog, we watch as the vibrance of the moon finally disappears into the shadow of the earth. A total lunar eclipse.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, but also
Awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Very
no, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
cool.
But inside on the attic staircase, Samantha shields her eyes from the burned out bulb, only to discover a small slice of light leaking from beneath the attic door, which is soon darkened by 2 heavy footsteps approaching it from the other side. Samantha gasps, clattering to the bottom of the steps, the score growing frenzied as she suddenly becomes disoriented. A frail-fingered hand reaches for the edge of the door above her, suddenly creaking it open, and with her last bit of strength, Samantha stumbles back into the hallway, losing her footing as her vision goes blurry, and she collapses to the floor, losing consciousness as a high-pitched whine overtakes all, and we fade to black.
The pizza.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was starting to feel the same way until this happened.
Oh.
Stop. I thought the suspense here was really good. I think that after seeing what happened with the family, you're just fucking waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're waiting
Yeah.
for the other shoe to drop. Like
And
how? You know what's going to happen, but how?
Yeah.
The funny thing is I had to keep reminding myself that Samantha doesn't know about that.
Yes. 'Cause you're like, you stupid
Family right there, dude. In a pentagram. But it's not. She doesn't know.
Yeah, she doesn't.
But rhythmic pounds offer pulses of unsettling sights. The blood-red moon hanging high in the sky, and Samantha, bound and gagged in a white gown, resting atop a chalk pentagram lined intricately with lit candles. She awakens, screaming bloody murder and pulling uselessly at her restraints as the score swells sinfully around her. But skulking through the shadows of the basement and donning black ceremonial cloaks are the Ullmans, Vincent, Vivian, and their son, Victor, who we recognize as Megan's murderer and the pretend pizza man.
God damn
I
it.
know.
Ullman, you raggedy bitch.
They gather around Samantha, Vincent reaching for her forehead as she struggles against him, but through the intermittent dark creeps another figure, and beneath her hood we spy her disfigured face, her cheeks bulbous and puffed, her eyes stern circles within her misshapen head. This is Mother, played by Danielle No. She was also the makeup effects artist for this film.
Oh, very nice.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Something that kind of caught me off guard, though, when I was looking at the credits trying to find all the cast members for this film,
Mhm.
there are two people credited, one as Demon and one as Blue Demon,
Yeah.
and they are not here. I do not see them in this film, and I don't know, because if you click on Demon, it shows a picture of Mother, who is not played by the person. It's not the demon.
Right.
So it's like, who were these characters?
Like a
I don't know.
subliminal thing, like a flash, or
Maybe.
like in the background somewhere.
Maybe
Okay.
deleted,
Maybe.
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
With those credits, dude, I want
Yeah.
to see what the fuck that was.
But Mother kneels at Samantha's side, breathing her in through her wisps of gray hair that hang tattered from her scalp. Samantha trembles in fear as Mother reaches her small hand for the hem of Samantha's gown, lifting it upward, past her white panties and up to her ribs. The Ullmans watch in eager anticipation as Mother dips her fingers into a chalice, returning her crimson digits to draw a circle across Samantha's shuddering stomach. Retrieving more insidious ink, she completes her work, forming a pentagram with Samantha's belly button at its center. As the score crackles over Samantha's agonized groans, Mother places the skull of a ram over the pentagram before reaching for a blade and jamming its sharp point into the vein of her forearm. She bleeds into the opened cranium of the skull, and after making a macabre mark on Samantha's forehead, she lifts the skull from her stomach, angling it to drip the contents into Samantha's gagged mouth.
God damn. I like this. I
Yes.
was like, oh shit, this is crazy.
It is, and like, you know something's coming.
Right.
But every single time that something arrives, it is not what you expected.
Right.
Right.
And you are right. If we didn't have that at the beginning,
Yes.
I felt like this would have had a bigger punch.
I would have liked that a lot more. Even if you you could put it at the end.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
But the blood pours, marring Samantha's pale flesh and the cloth at her lips as she struggles against it, spitting out as much as she can. But in her frenzied movements, Samantha is able to loosen the ropes that bind her, reaching her arm upward to slap Mother across the face. Mother shrieks as the score howls, and Samantha is able to wriggle free from her restraints, seizing Mother's dagger as she reaches her feet and plunging it into Vincent's gut as she rushes past him.
I do want to say they watched her do that. I don't think they were as into it anymore. They're
No.
like, maybe we should let her go.
It is wild. Nobody's like, Mother! Vivian screams for Victor to grab her as Samantha clatters to a stone wall at the opposite end of the room, removing her gag and spitting Mother's blood onto the floor. When Victor seizes her in his grasp, Samantha tussles with him for a moment, only to reach up to jam her thumb into his eye, leaving him a bloody and blubbering mess on the ground.
Oof.
I know.
It is funny that he's like, my eye!
Yeah.
Well, damn, his eye.
But she races up the basement steps, only to stumble over a body she encounters on the kitchen floor, losing her footing and falling into a pool of blood that stretches across the tiles. Samantha turns to discover what remains of Megan, the blood spilling from the grotesque and grisly cavity of what once was her face beneath the matted mess of her blonde hair.
So sad.
Yeah. Why is she here?
That's the other thing. Why'd you bring her back?
Yeah.
Was there more blood in the chalice that you needed? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. They're like, this is really going to fuck her up later if she gets free.
If she gets away. Exactly. Yeah. But Samantha screams, slipping in the crimson pool, her bare feet barely able to gain traction as she races for the knife that she left on top of the pizza box. She breezes past a returning Victor, who writhes injured as he makes his way into the kitchen to pursue her. Samantha runs upstairs, but through an adjacent staircase, Victor rises to meet her, heading her off at the pass. He raises his pistol, firing a shot into Samantha's shoulder and sending her sharply to the rug. She twists on the ground in vibrant pain, blood spewing from her fresh wound, but as Victor approaches her, seemingly to finish her off, Samantha grasps the dropped kitchen knife, swinging it blindly above her, its sharp blade slicing Victor right across his throat. Blood pours as his eyes search to make sense of what has happened, slipping to the floor as he gurgles, gasping and choking until the light finally leaves his eyes. Samantha escapes into the attic, closing the door behind her at the top of the steps, just as Vivian climbs the stairs to the second floor, discovering her son lying dead against the wall. She gasps tearfully, offering a sweet and sensitive hand to Victor's face, but Samantha's frenzied movement upstairs draws her attention away from him. Ire filling her eyes, Vivian climbs the steps to the attic in pursuit of Samantha. But in an adjacent room inside the attic, behind another closed door, Samantha lies doubled over in pain on the floor, quick flashes of Mother returning to her through the darkness of her closed eyes. Her misshapen face, her certain and stern eyes, her sharp and snarling teeth. Samantha jolts up, lifting her blood-soaked gown to reveal darkened veins, spiraling like spiderwebs from the center of her stomach, and she screams, visions of Mother overtaking her, her ghastly green eye ever watchful as blood pours from her fanged mouth. I wrote this portion of the script very late at night, and I was like, I do not appreciate this. It is scary as hell.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Yeah.
But Vivian has finally made her way into the attic, discovering a weak and coughing Samantha lying on the floor. She drags her into the other room, kneeling at her side as she spasms breathlessly in sharp pain. Vivian warns, "It's happening. No matter what you do, we won't stop. We can't be stopped. You'll see. It's gonna work in spite of you, you little bitch."
God
Damn.
It's like, you already have done enough.
Yes.
But she suddenly steps away from Samantha's body to peer out into the night through a window on the opposite wall. She begs for her lord to hear her, to talk to her. Please. She reaches for her hair, removing it from her scalp and revealing the frail wisps of white strands beneath it. I was like, there's too much going on, right?
There's a
Yeah.
lot. And I was like, I knew that this was going to be one of those movies where they save everything
for the end.
for the last 10 minutes
Yeah.
and then they just beat the shit out of you. That's what it feels like.
But distracted in her oddly timed prayer, Vivian doesn't notice Samantha slowly reaching her feet and retrieving her kitchen knife, which she plants firmly in Vivian's spine. The score drones as Vivian howls, collapsing to her knees and onto the floorboards, succumbing to the wound as her blood spills around her. I have defended a lot in this movie, but Vivian's death is very funny.
Yes, it is.
Cracked me up like you wouldn't believe, because why are you doing this at the window?
Yeah.
And then she's just like, because she just gets suddenly stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
Like it does not work, and it did make me laugh very hard.
Well,
It is one of those I need to stand right here and wait for my turn to die.
Right.
Yes.
Because otherwise, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But as Samantha exits into the hall, retrieving the handgun that Victor definitely won't be needing anymore, we watch in the night sky as the moon slowly reemerges from behind the Earth's shadow. We find Samantha in the kitchen, rushing to dial the police, but before she can, her mind is made weak by visions of Mother, piercing, frightening, her face contorted in horror, blood pouring from her eyes like tears, and her pointed teeth bared in a snarl. The phone tumbles to the floor as Samantha rushes outside, retching over the railing of the porch. She runs through the front lawn, followed closely by a stumbling Vincent, the knife still stuck in his gut and his blood raining onto the concrete as he pleads with Samantha to wait.
really?
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to talk to you. And wait, she does not. With the gun in hand, she hoofs it as fast as she can into the cemetery, traipsing through tombstones as the score rises tensely and Vincent traces her footsteps. When he finally catches up with her, she is keeled over in pain. He implores her to just listen to him, but Samantha screams for him to get away from her and to stay back. She points the gun in his direction, and he heeds her warning, but he calmly insists that she doesn't need to do that. Samantha whimpers mournfully as whispers surround her in the dark, and she demands to know what he did to her. Vincent explains that they're calling to her, and he implores her to just listen to the voices. As he inches closer, Vincent continues, "He's given the sign. He's chosen you. It's your destiny to accept him." Samantha refuses this with a guttural scream, rising to her feet as Vincent kneels from his. He urges her to kill him if she wants, as he is merely a messenger who carries out his words, and he gazes upward into the night sky as he intones, "Only moments away now." Samantha looks up too, watching as the light of the moon is drifting swiftly out of the shadows, the eclipse soon reaching its end. As the score sizzles suspensefully, it dawns on Samantha what she has to do. Inhaling a deep breath and summoning her last remaining strength, she lowers the gun, no longer pointing it at Vincent, and instead, she places the cold metal of its barrel to her temple. As Vincent pleads desperately for her not to do it, Samantha pulls the trigger, collapsing to the grass, the rubble of her body hidden by a line of gravestones as Vincent cowers across from her, and we fade to black. But when we return, we're centered on a television. Ted Stephen of Channel 13 News provides a report with the graphic of a full moon hanging over his shoulder, a question mark placed at the center of its pale surface. Ted explains that astronomers everywhere are still baffled by how to explain this bizarre event, as it seems that the speed at which the moon exited the Earth's shadow was faster than believed theoretically possible. He says that while this may be intriguing to many, scientists around the globe can't agree on exactly why this occurred. But experts, he says, are searching for answers, and he promises to keep the viewer informed on any and all developments as they come in. As his voice echoes distantly, we glide through the pristine and pallid halls of a hospital, past the nurse's station, and into a room toward the end of the long corridor. As pensive piano and ominous strings sound in the score, we discover Samantha, lying motionless but alive, her head heavily bandaged as a monitor beeps rhythmically at her bedside.
I couldn't believe she was alive.
Me neither.
Yeah.
A nurse, played by Brenda Cooney, enters the room, setting a tray down beside Samantha and retrieving a syringe to inject a solution into her IV. Blurry in the background, the nurse reaches a hand for Samantha's forehead, offering, "Poor thing." But she implores Samantha not to worry. She's gonna be just fine. She then reaches a comforting hand to Samantha's stomach, adding an addendum to her reassurances. "Both of you."
God damn it!
The nurse exits the room, the camera pulling back to center on Samantha, unconscious in her hospital bed, the eerie piano returning as we rest frozen on this shot of her, and the credits roll. So, what did you guys think of The House of the Devil?
I will be honest, I had a lot more fun talking about the movie than watching it. But I will be honest, us talking about it, I did enjoy, talking about it and thinking about the movie. It's like, okay, that wasn't as, I don't want to say as bad as I thought it was, but it you know what I mean? The movie's fine. For me, the ending, I feel like it was when she turned the gun on herself. I was like, oh, okay. But then for her to be alive and then we get that ending, I was just like, oh, well, for me, it kind of just took away some of the punch of what we just seen. I would have preferred like a chest burster thing where we see it come up or like the sheets start to rise when the nurse walks away and it's like, okay, now we're all fucked. That's cool. But to just walk away and leave it kind of, I was like, oh, whatever, dude. But not, you know what I mean? Like me.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah, not in a
But
bad way.
fuck this movie.
I didn't say that time.
No. We're cool. Continue.
No, but again, I do understand that it's a slow burn and we get to the end. But for me, it was just, after a while, it was, they needed to get where they needed to be for certain things to happen, and that was it. Megan was cool until it was just like, I need to go pull over to get shot. I need to go stand at this window and pray to get stabbed. I need to eat this pizza, or I need to be scared or whatever, to turn around and be like, there's nothing wrong, be tough. I was like, what's going on? And then for it all to happen at the end, and then it just, like I said, for me to get that ending, I was just like, that's all right. I don't feel like the end paid off for the wait for me. And I can see, I'll be honest, I love the feel and look of the movie. It's what I really enjoyed. The story really didn't do too much for me, and I think it is just Samantha, Megan, even what little time we get, her personality outshining Samantha's was just like, oh, well, why didn't we just stay with Megan? Like, why didn't we just have her doing it? But I mean, I can understand why people would like it if you like slow burns. I don't. I need my attention span is very short. I'm like a goldfish. So I you know what I mean? I need to see heads falling off. You know what I mean? A little earlier. Give me something. But I can see a lot of the charm and what's going on with this movie. I do agree with a lot of what you said, you know what I mean? Of the movie, it is beautiful. The cinematography is great. The one little gripe I do have is the cuts. After a while, I was like, was this made for TV and you put it together? Because we fade to black a lot. I was like, I don't know why. But again, these are my opinions, and it was my first time watching the movie. And maybe, like you said, with more watches, it's like, you know what? This isn't as bad as I thought. But as of right now, that's kind of where I'm at.
That's fair. I personally love the ending. I think it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I think it's really jarring. I think that
kind of.
I mean,
it's only the Antichrist.
It's like, oh, rats. But yeah, I like the ending a lot. I think that it is an absolute explosion after this fuse has been ticking down for a fucking hour and a half. I do like that. I love, as you both have said already, the vibe and the feel, the grain, the music, everything stylistically. I really did enjoy. The performances are all really great. Nobody has iPhone face in this film.
No.
I really, really love all of those aspects. The biggest issue for me is Samantha. That's the biggest issue for me. I think that inherently women have instincts.
Yeah.
And I think that she was told in the very first scene to listen to those instincts.
She was.
Yeah.
And she la 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 la.
Yeah.
Like she closed her eyes, shielded her ears, and did everything to not face what was going on. And it is frustrating to follow that character around for the entire film and not at some point be like, all right, bitch, after this,
Yeah.
you know, I can't defend you anymore. Like, you have walked right into the lion's den with stakes taped to you.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, it is a frustrating watch in that capacity because you want her to be smarter than this.
Yes.
Especially when her friend is like, dude, be smarter than this.
Yeah.
It is a frustrating watch in that capacity. Does she deserve to be the fucking vessel for the Antichrist? No, nobody's saying that. But, you know, there was a lot of red flags flagging, and she was willfully ignorant.
Yeah.
Playing on fucking keyboards, twerking into basses, blasting her music in her ears so she can't hear anything.
And I mean, she lived the song. One thing did lead to another.
It sure
It did.
the fuck
That's
did.
true.
It absolutely did. For better or for worse. She's a frustrating character for me. And I think even if, the heavy-handed moments of she said the furs were in the basement.
Right.
I don't like that. But I feel like if this is a character that speaks to herself, that could give her a little more room to be this fully fleshed out character, and maybe we can understand why she makes some of the really fucking frustrating decisions that she does.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted more from our protagonist.
Yeah.
I think is my biggest flaw in the film. But I really did I liked it when I watched it, and I like it even a little bit more now, having talked about it and kind of pointed out shit along the way. It's a fun movie. I think that it's definitely worth the watch. It's something kind of special in its uniqueness, and the commitment and execution of this style of the time is incredible.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, really, about everything. I think that's the other thing that I kind of neglected to mention at the top is, think about what other horror films in 2009.
Yeah.
This really does kind of make its own mark comparatively.
Yeah.
You know, it is something, even if it is reverent to the past, it is something wholly its own and fairly original.
Yeah, it is.
But I definitely agree about Samantha being frustrating. I think that's really my only drawback for the film.
Right.
Is the repetitiveness of these bad decisions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do think it is. You give one change and you make it to where there is no lifeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan's father is not wealthy.
Right.
And there isn't this thing that she can very easily pull the ripcord.
Mm-hmm.
And it is now, I have to be here.
Yeah.
If I'm not here, then I'm not eating.
Right.
I'm not living anywhere.
Yeah.
And then you just make that small change, and then suddenly overlooking things makes a lot of sense when you are incredibly desperate financially.
That's right.
But I think that even more of that push-pull of fuck, this is so stupid.
To
but I
herself,
have to-
yeah.
Yeah, but
yes.
it's she's not even going there. She's just like,
And it took
Let's
Megan to
dance.
say
one
it.
thing
Yeah.
leads to
Yeah.
another. It's like, dude, no. Focus up.
Yeah.
It would help.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. And it took Megan to be like, hey, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
even so, she's like, look, I need it. But do you?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
So,
No.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
no. But I mean, She said herself regarding Ullman not picking her up and forgetting, she's like, people make mistakes. People make mistakes.
People sure do, and then they make them
yeah.
again and repeatedly, and then the same kind of mistake for 90 minutes.
It was 88 before credits, but I really appreciate a lot of what this film has to offer, as we've said.
Yeah.
And I guess we can just slide into ratings. I think that what is most impactful is the atmosphere of it.
Mm-hmm.
The aesthetics and the choices made, the commitment to this bit, and making sure that things are as accurate as they can be with the budget that you're given.
Yeah.
A massive credit to the production designer, to the costume designer,
Yes.
to the hairstylist.
Yes.
Like, it feels so good.
Everything down to the makeup.
Yeah. And finding these items that are era specific and having them there, but not having them there as to be like, hey, look, she is a cassette player.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a part of her day. She's listening to the fix. It's not like, hey, this is the 50th 80s song that we've heard today.
Yeah.
Right.
It just is a part of this very lived in world, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
And that house,
Oh, man.
holy shit.
Yeah.
And the work done inside to make it look like it's from this era.
Yeah.
It's incredible. The camera work, those zooms, the choices made with the freeze frames of the title sequence, the score fitting so well atmospherically for like every moment that it exists in.
Yeah.
I am very, very impressed by the attention to detail and very impressed by the cast assembled and the performances that they give.
Right.
Yeah.
That is very difficult with the Ullmans at the very beginning. We already are wary of them because of a lot of reasons.
Right.
But the way that it's performed, it is very, maybe they are just a couple. They're not being outwardly terrifying.
Yeah.
Outwardly, like, creepy to the point of, like, look, the first thing he said to me, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Right.
I didn't feel that.
No. It's the calm.
Yes, very calm and very apologetic.
Yeah.
Understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And also saying the exact right thing to keep her here, which is not good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that, and I've said this before about Ty West's work, I feel like the narrative to me is not as important or as impactful as what we get as far as the atmosphere.
Okay.
And I kind of felt that way going into it. And having watched X and Pearl and Maxine and all these other films, I find the vibe to be where he excels the most.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that rings true even through returning to this film.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that the slow burn is incredibly effective for me.
Right.
And I like having these extra scenes of like living in this house and exploring it, finding things that don't necessarily add up. It is frustrating that she doesn't understand these things.
Yes.
But it is pretty cool for her to take this like strange peek into the basement and kind of make like a grimace only to learn what happens there later.
Yeah.
Or have her go upstairs and not go all the way to the attic and knowing that there is someone up there.
Yeah.
Like these little things that are just like adding up. The bedroom contradicting the story completely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like things like that are just very, very interesting to me. And I think that a lot of the horror lies in these small moments until the horror goes absolutely insane at the end.
Right.
And all of those visuals, all of the choices that they make really work for me.
Those do look good.
Even from behind the door where we see the family on the pentagram.
Yes.
That's a great shot.
That was great.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely frightening. Maybe it would work a little better if maybe there were a little less things pointing Samantha to be kind of ridiculous for not leaving.
Yeah.
Because there were points at that point already where it's like, you found the fucking bag of photos.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a peculiar van parked in front of the house now.
Yeah.
But you're going to wait for the pizza? You're gonna so it is a little,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really think that this film, as you said, is something really special. And I think that I'll continue to return to it because there is something very oddly comfortable about it.
Okay.
But for me, on a scale from 1 to 10, deceitful and devilish deals, I am going to give The House of the Devil 8.5 deceitful and devilish deals out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to give it an 8, but I feel like I like it more than that.
Okay.
And
so an 8.5
it makes
is
a lot of
fitting.
sense.
Yeah,
a lot of sense.
sense.
Yeah, I'm
yes.
also very tired. But
Yeah.
I will now open the floor to you.
No, and like I said, I understand. I'm just not much for the slow burn. So I could see if you like this, I would even say that watch it and you decide how you like it. For me, it was a lot of build up and it was Samantha hurting it. And then later when we get those things, like I stated earlier, it was just that. And it is frustrating. And I get we're supposed to be into the movie and it's like, no, don't do that. But it was like you just said, there was to a certain point to where it was like, you know better.
Mm-hmm.
You're just ignoring it now. And it's like, okay, I don't know how much more I can forgive of that. And I would honestly give it another try, maybe at a later date and see how I feel then. But as of right now, like I said, I think all those things just kind of piled up on me, and it was just like, I don't know how much I really am enjoying this. But again, it's my opinion, you know what I mean? And if I come back to it later, I'll change, you know what I mean, my score, or even be like, you know what? Watching it again, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I can see the comfort in it. The way it looks is great. Everything you just said, I agree with all that. You know what I mean? You feel like you're in the fucking 80s. When she drops her cassette player, it isn't like, oh my God, whatever. She just looks at it and then, okay, I'm going away. It happens.
Yeah.
You drop shit. People drop their phones all the time. Damn, pick it up, put it back in your pocket. It did feel authentic. It was like, okay, that's cool. The store, the school, or the pizza shop, and you know what I mean, all that. It did look really good. I think it was just like everything leading up kind of was like, do something. But again, you know what I mean. I need my attention span. I'm slasher kind of guy. I need slashing.
Right.
But I did enjoy a lot talking about it with you guys. And so for me, on a scale from 1 to 10, deceitful and devilish deals, I'm going to give The House of the Devil a 5.5 out of 10. I had a lot of fun talking about this movie with you guys. But like I said, as of now, I'm just kind of in the middle with it.
Uh-huh.
It's just not your style.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I feel like I said all my opinions before. I love a lot of this. I think that this movie is a lot of fun. I think it's something very unique. My main gripe just is our main character. She is very like, you went out of your way to not heed any warnings, not use one brain cell, nothing. And it is frustrating to watch that for a whole movie. But even bearing that in mind, I'm not ignorant to the fact that she did have to do that for these things to go into motion.
Yeah.
If I were Samantha, this movie would be very short. And nobody wants a 15-minute movie where I'm like, oh, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
And then I hang up the phone and then eat my Twix and fucking listen to the fix.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to spend a Friday night.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I honestly think it would have been whenever he didn't show up to pick you up, that
Yes.
probably would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Because that would have been like, oh, the universe is like, nah, bitch,
Yeah.
don't. But I did just want to echo how much fun it was talking about this. John Paul and I were just extremely sick. And so this was a very nice break, a very
Yes.
nice laugh.
It was.
Coming up and getting over that. And then having this conversation was just tops.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it. I did like the film. My and it's a big issue, is that main character. But everything else for me was really firing on all cylinders. I thought it was really, 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 really good. But for me, on a scale from 1 to 10, deceitful and devilish deals, I am giving the House of the Devil, which is not the house we thought it would be.
No.
7.5 deceitful and devilish deals out of 10.
Very good.
Okay.
And I hope we're back in Ty West's good graces.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, me and John Paul already were.
Please, Ty. Well, that's all from us at Pod Mortem. What would you rate The House of the Devil, and what should we watch next? Let us know on Instagram at the Pod Mortem. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like our Stairhole Productions page on Facebook. Be sure to follow each of us on Instagram and Blue Sky at TravisMWH, at Blood and Smoke, and at JuggaloDaddy84. Thanks again to Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Please consider pledging to our Patreon, where you'll gain access to over 250 hours of bonus content, our monthly schedule, our Discord server, and the opportunity to help us decide which films to cover. And if you're looking for Pod Mortem and Stairhole Productions merch, follow the link in our episode notes. Stay tuned until after the music for a special thank you to our Wendigo Getter patrons. And remember, when presented with an offer that seems too good to be true, it just might be. Never forget, the devil is in the details. Until next time. Thank you for staying tuned. We want to give a very special thank you to all of our Wendigo Getter patrons.
Woo! Yeah!
Amazing work. A special thank you to
Chris Ontiveros, Kristen Lofton, Megan Martinez, Kimberly Bass, Sophie Hodson, Anthony Jerome M., Jordan Nash, Kent Morton, Lala Thomas, Travis and Nisa Hunter, Miguel Myers ATX, Jennifer Perez, Allison O'Neill, Carissa, TJ and Angie Bronson, Andy Teague, Applin Ontiveros, Karima Rhodes, Kimberly Kleindienst, Sydney Smith, Bobby Holmes, Donna Eason, JD Rezak, Molly Gerhart, Armand Spasto, Aaron Aguirre, Eggy, William Berry, Charity Oxner, Amanda Six, Mandy Rainwater, Eden, Jordan Roberts, Dylan, Liz Heath, Spencer Montalvo, Pancake the Panda, John Ramos, Michael Newding, Alexis Roberts, Dan Laveau, Itzy M, Gary Horton, Kate Lamp, Carlos and Sydney, Jessica Hunter, Helena Rudder, Alan Johnston, Mariah, Livy Fun, Scott Troutman Wise, Towton Watson, Mozzie Bear, Dave Burke, Emma Hagel Kissinger, Valerie G, Emiliana, CB, Taylor Santana, Will Lewison, Angelique, Smelly Poo Poo Head, Beth Bauer, Cookie, Esperanza J, Jason Kyle OKC, Joshua Rumley, Danielle Peralta, Brandon, Sawyer Reese Farr, Sahara, Girl That's Scary, Cassandra, Andrea Simmons, Ashley Higuera, William and Xxena Rush, Ryan Brom, Megan Ochoa, Laura Lassiter, Eileen O, Marissa E, Henry F, Megan M, Strangely Sarah, Christy Beck, Nancy and Andy, Amanda Lopez, Andy Terrell, Jason Hanovan, Erica Morin, Tris Wynn, K.87, Mariah Jensen, Carrie A, Lonnie Lono, Powell, Kayla E, Maggie H, Murder Stina, Kristen Marcy, Ori 81 Baricua, Look Like That One Girl, Bog Boy, Felnez 63,
Alita Pui, Probably My Jugs, Kate Daiquiri, Wade Pack, A Lizard, Bay J, Jay Rich, Topher Williams, Elena Metler, Valerie K, Christy Lee Kruger, Professor of Humanities Laura McCarricker, Naomi, Josh Smith, Autumn Green, Abby Kopp, Crystal 831, Skank Sinatra, Morgan Alexander, Tony Osteen, Julie Fredborg, Brianna S., Daniel Taylor, Anna Kate, Heather Ortiz, Kim H., August, Vengeance Spirit, Jenny May, Glittery Fab, Malik Caselli Armstrong, Scarly D., Toya Shea, Katie, Martin Shaw, Star, Tyler J., Cam Davies, Patrick Hoagland, Raven, D., Wesley Tart, Kristen Jackson, Jacob Nordberg, Spencer, Samantha, Damian Grant, Half Price Horror, Clemmy, Nisi Nay, Erica, Jason X Rules, Karen Burrows, Aaron Norman, Stephen Rogers, Victoria Smith, Patricia A. Graham, Erasmo Pena, Danielle Wright, Tabitha Thomas, Richard Murray, Irene, Sally Slater 52, Jordan McCarthy, Christy Michelle Wilson, Rosalind Harnias, Emily Rance, Amy, Lisa and Kathy, Mike H., Christian Sadler, Hannah, Sarah Jack, Casey L., Evelyn Knight, Paula Garcia, Ghastly Grandad, Megan and Alexandra Saldivar, Lisa Sykes, Sonny Jonas, Kelsey Niemeyer Cook, The Face Flowers, JG, Morgan Novello, Ashley, Alex M., Brandon C., Gordon Sutherland, Georgia Renlund, Ashley Poe, Najee P., Seth Schaff, Diana Joe, Connor Gormley, Carrie Parker,
Katie Face, Jane Pillsbury, Caitlin Asher, Mia Franz, Pooh Bear, Spicy Caldera, This is the Zodiac Speaking, Jason the Ghost, Moldy Tic Tac, Brian Ward, Tanner Rutgers, Gremlin Keeper 22, Sam Spade 666, Veronica, Kristen Rhodes, Daniel Laurent, Carmito, TVR, A Very Sweepy Baby, Randy Tucker, Nicholas Rage, A Lazy Boy, Nicola Williams, Sadison Miles, Jasmine, Stu Corbett, Daniel Smith, Brick O, Pullout Lebowski, Jaden Nicole, Jody Grody, Lost Fan 08, George L. Robertson, Mercedes X Bleeple, Joel Miller Apologist, Jaylene Perry, Cool Trainer Elijah, Mrs. Bloomingdale, Sierra Duncan, Claire Cantwell, Renee Hart, Meg Like Sleep, Final Boy, Alani, Nosferatu Dude, Elizabeth Thompson, Joey, Michelle Nicole, The Lipstick Demon, Less Than Zombie, Franklin Badge, Sean Reeves, The Kryptonian Orphan, Aria Carter, Melissa B., Olivia Youngblood, Elena C., Jillian Mumford, Evil Chris, Robin L. Tercer, Rex Term Raoul, Witchy Poop 19, Brian Avers, Danielle Milton, Instant Horror, and Just Give Me One Wish like Ray J. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
We appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope that we'll see you real moon.
All right, it's time.
It was an eclipse.
Yeah,
it was
time.
in the movie.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.